Hello, hello, and welcome along to episode 73 of Beldania. Today I have playing with me Bruno.
Hello, I'm playing Rosanna Veslo, Circle of Stars, Eladrin Druid.
I have Rico.
I am playing Torin Goldenbrand, the Dragonborn Paladin.
I have Joe.
Hello, I'm Joe, and I'm still not sure how sick I'm going to sound when I start talking, so bear with that. But I play Hennick Littlefield, Halfling Farmer, and Bard.
I have Josh.
I'm Josh. I will be playing Sebastian Melmon, the Abjuration Wizard.
And unfortunately, Jamal cannot be with us. Kiavo is off kayaking in Kenya and has fractured his tibia. But I'm sure he'll be back with us soon enough. In the meantime, we will continue to play without him. When we last left off, what had we done indeed? What had we done? We saved the world from devastation. Or more specifically, the homeland from some fire. Which is pretty cool. We defeated some druids of lightning prowess. We gave a summon Magin a really cool set of armor. And we learned our lesson about 9th level spells, maybe, possibly, potentially. We also visited the Way of the Path 16, which has not been underlined, so I shall do that for you now. And Torin walked through the fire, through the flame, to the limit, to the wall, all that stuff, and basically just picked up some shit and walked out again, which was pretty badass. And then you went back to the boat, and from here, 'tis up to you where you might go.
Well, Hennick also had a very important meeting.
Oh, yeah, so that happened too, didn't it? I forgot about that. The grandfather said that he was dying and was going to pass away, and that Hennick must come immediately. After which he gave him a job, a bunch of information on people all over the world, and a stone that gives him good luck. Isn't that exciting? Yeah. But now you're back on the boat, back in Erlana, back near the homeland, watching the flames and fire recede. The moment Kai and Gia are both on the boat with you, they have needed some time to sleep off their strenuous ritual casting. Which cost them every spell slot they had available. Some under the water elementals, and now they are somewhat recovered. And Cal, not Kai. Cal will tell you that he was unable to enter Muegos. He sensed some action, specifically attuned to wild elves on the border of Muegos and Yithra. And he decided not to cross for fear of raising his grandfather's ire or merely attracting. But he did say it was specifically attuned to wild elves. So you guys would be okay to cross, but Gia would not be able to go with you. Gia is interested in taking Yorkrath back up to the north of Yizra, where they were dealing with a problem before of undead dragons. Dragons being raised as undead and attacking other people, basically. That's her interest.
That doesn't sound druidy.
No, it's sort of... she's undoing the work that her grandfather has... Oh, you mean that raising undead dragons doesn't sound like druid? Can I assume that you say that in character to Gia?
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
Gia will sort of look to you and that perhaps my grandfather has got involved in nastier magics. He's also made allies along. I believe you rendered one senseless. Clearly not a...
Yes,
So
of
your
course.
tales told
What was
me.
her name?
That's where I'm at. On that, I don't know.
I don't remember either, actually.
Neither does she anymore. Well,
right.
she wouldn't have if we'd left
No,
her.
indeed.
Indeed. Quite.
I did. But yes, she was a sorcerer. As you... Oh, gotcha beat. She would suggest that her and Yorkrath return to that. Because until they got attacked by Turava, the Primordial, they were doing okay. Process.
Well, we could go with them at least halfway to stop by Way of the Path 15.
I believe that Torrin's parents made their home in Mualgan. Is that right, or are they in Turlik?
I was actually never informed where in Isra they
Oh, you
settled.
weren't. Okay, fantastic. Let
No.
me look it up in my notes.
Does this mean we're just gonna go town to town with Torin going, Mama, Papa, where are you?
I believe the sending spell might speed that process up ever so slightly. Settle down in the capital, which would be Moalgan. On the river, it says.
The river. Fancy.
Like the full sentence, it says Torrin's parents have settled in a riverside estate in the capital, Isra. It's pretty cool. So yeah, if you guys wanted to head up that way and at least escort them a little bit of the way, you could do so, at least taking the boat to Moalgan and then wandering off into Isra. Any complaints?
I just have a question. I seem to remember mention of Shar, the Academy of Shar.
Yep, it's down here.
From last session, through Hennick's conversation with Gandaris, do we remember why Shar was important, or
Okay.
it was mentioned by Gandaris? Because I don't.
I will let Joe fill you in on what Gandara said, but just to remind you that the Academy of Shar is where most high-level people, really, not only wizards, but clerics, druids, artificers, etc., would exist in this world. One of which I think Gandaris...
Yeah,
felt
if
like-
I remember correctly, there's a woman named Velda or something like that she's got a line on a potion that might be of interest to me.
Yes.
And Furlock used to work there as a teacher.
Mhm.
And that's where the twins
The
went to
twins
school.
Went to school. Yes.
It's
yes,
also
that-
potentially where they retreated to. You weren't 100% sure, but you know that they gained a lot of influence while...
Sebastian always wanted to go there for school, but it's just too poor.
Josh and I had a whole discussion about loose ends at some point during this. The twins being one of them.
Yes.
Their little pet assassin bit.
Yeah, we were going through all our jobs and stuff, and we really have left a lot of loose ends in this world. We just go from half job done to half job done.
Lots of things that just sort of we never went back to, or we just sort of that'll get done at some point and never did. That's things like that.
Some will deal with it. Yeah.
But it might make sense to at least go to 15 first, and then
Yeah, certainly no.
know.
Torn would be excited to visit the motherland.
Getting to Shah, you could get the boat all the way down there. You could potentially, find a route that takes you perhaps even around the entire coast of Muegos and Yarkon. But there is a teleportation circle in Galir. And if you remember, you have been to Galir. It is where a strange man basically bought stuff off you and then sold it to the table next. Bit of a pirate. But yes, so you can teleport to Galir and then potentially take boat from there. So now, are we happy to proceed up the coast of Isra?
Mm-hmm.
We'll do so. 3 days pass. So if you wish to put things in rings of spell storing and take long rests and other such shenanigans, you might get.
Yeah, the Ring of Spell Storing says store up to 5 levels worth of spells. Is that correct?
Oh, does it?
Yes.
That fit in overall. Oh, okay, so yeah, you could put a 5th and 2 cantrips, or a 5th of 4th, 5th of 1st and cantrip, or 4th of 1st.
Yeah,
and
as long as
cantrip,
it
etc.,
equals
etc.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Maybe you want counterspell, magic missiles, and shield or something. Probably a good comp.
Are those attunement?
Yes.
Okay.
There were 6 of them on the druids, almost all of which contained bark skin, amongst other. I think they had a spell left in them. a very high level spell, one that shouldn't fit in the. I think it was. So they might still be present, but. But yeah, Josh.
Sorry, I've returned. What did I miss?
Full of Josh playing with the spells.
Mm.
Yeah, you can work that out as you wish, and then stick it on Dimitri. I don't know if Rosania, you want to spend the time and resources to at least put Revivify in a ring, because you can attune to it on demand, right? You don't have to have. You can put it in a ring that you're not attuned to. Or do you?
I don't have Revivify.
Don't get Revivify as a druid.
I get
But-
Revivify.
Oh, you get it. Knew someone had it.
But if that's the case, you said we have 5 days of travel.
Hmm.
So I'm going to put 5 like heal. Like I'm gonna put all of as many heals as I can.
You can't put any heals. We've just discussed that. It only goes up to 5th level.
Up to 5th level.
Yeah, and they
Alright.
have to equal 5th level. But you could perhaps put Greater Restoration in one.
Yeah, I think that would be nice because we get hit by effects a lot.
I'm just gonna
I have a
smack.
question.
Yeah.
We don't have Kiavo with us, or Jamal with us, but does that mean Kiavo is not going to be with us?
Oh, hell no.
Because Then.
No,
Okay,
he's
so
just
then can
just gonna be silent and follow.
Okay.
He's kayaking in Kenya.
Well, you know
didn't
what? I
hear?
actually still might keep on the Twin Dragon ring.
Yeah, of course. Give it on. Have him on, and you can tell me what you want him to cast.
Yeah, okay.
Let's be real.
If you turn on the optional features, Druid will have Revivify.
Yes, that is.
It's on the newer spell list
For
for
now,
Druid.
for now, Rico can put it in. I've just stuck this in for now. If there's any other spells that you guys wish to put in a spell ring or two, then just put a note there. So you've got 6 rings, none of which you are attuned to. But obviously they could still be used. You could attune to them if you needed the spell inside.
Mhm.
So, for example, if everyone's down who can cast Revivify, Joe could attune to one of these items and then use Revivify from it.
But it's not instant, right?
No, it would still. Oh,
But Revivify only works for a minute, so it's
attunement
pointless.
is instant.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, we've always done attunement is instant, but unattunement takes time.
Oh, okay. Well, then it works. Yeah.
Yeah, but only if you have the attunement slot.
Oh, right. You'd have
Because
to get
unattuned
out of
takes
something
time.
else.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's why I was questioning whether I should be wearing the dragon ring, because then otherwise I would put the spell
No.
storing ring on.
Don't worry. For now, Kiava will put a spell storing on.
Okay.
Well, he
Maybe
won't.
one day
He'll
we'll
have to
get a fifth
just
attunement
Revivify.
slot.
The others, obviously, if Rosania got turned to stone, right, you could spend the hour to unattune and reattune to Ring of Spell Storing, and then use Greater Restoration. That's fine.
And I'm sort of been treating it as though, although we have them do various things for fun and flavor, that the mushroom folk don't really have fingers and abilities to do a whole lot of that kind of stuff.
Yes, they don't have attunement slots specifically. You gain an
Sure.
attunement slot at 2nd level.
Cool.
The Imagine, however, has 3. Cool. Alrighty. The land of Tevwe is a beautiful land of large rolling hill. High, sort of not massively high mountains. Think like the Rockies. They're not, Mount Kilimanjaro. There's no snow on the top, but there's lots and lots of various canyons and mountains. It's a gentle land. Flowing rivers, big blue lakes. Majestic. The Dragonborn who live in Yizra have, for the most part, left the land untended. The Dragonborn are not farmers. Many of them are hunters. And although there aren't many dragons in the world who have a place of residence, dragons have come and gone from Yizra many times over the years, and some buildings and even cities built to the scale of dragons, allowing dragons to take perch in, rest in them. There is very famously, just north of Reslik, what is effectively a dragon bar, I guess is the way of putting it, which is basically these 2 huge pillars, and then between them 2 walls have been built, and it's filled constantly with far-like water from a natural spring, and a dragon can bath in it. There are many other monuments to times when dragons. There is also the wonderful city place that we were talking about a second ago, and the name just vanished out my head. Right there, right
Walgan?
then.
Walligan.
Moalgan, yes, that's the one. Moalgan is a city of towering spires and large, expansive estates. Dragonborns tend to be a fairly familial group. They tend to be fairly proud of their ancestry and their past. As such, many of these families are found on large estates with a large number of green dragonborn. It is the way the pecking order is seen. The metallics have always presidents. There isn't much slavery in view. Most of these green dragonborn own privately. But you'll see this hierarchy, for example, even in the house of a gold dragonborn, you would find often a silver dragonborn as a butler. So there's still an element of service even when slavery takes place. Dorian, as you approach here, I'm sure you can, standing out, discover that your parents are residing on a rather luxurious estate. They have taken control of one of the few water mills here. Find flour, bread. They've hired on somebody they say is a fantastic baker. A little shop.
Is that right?
It turns out that their baker is a green dragonborn by the name of Sirith. 2 S's in. Yeah, whilst everybody else would enslave them, your parents are paying them handsomely.
Good old golden brands.
Yeah, they're not uncouth enough to have Sirith actually serving in the shop. Sirith does the baking. A bronze dragonborn does the serving. But you've got a lovely little shop in town. You've got a wonderful estate to reside on. I'm sure that you would evening Torrens' parents. Is there anything specific? Go on.
Torrin, when was the last time you saw your parents?
Sebastian, you should know that it was the last time we left Sandringham.
Why should I know
No,
Because like there was
the day after it burned down, right?
That's sort of thing after it burned down, basically.
Yeah.
And then since then, I've
Because you
been
popped
with you,
into the Torrent Brand
basically.
estate quite a few times, right? Torrent Brand, the Torrent Brand estate. That was an
Torrent
interesting
Brand
mistake. You popped into
No, but
Torrent's
Sebastian would
mansion
know
a
because
few
I've
times.
only ever been around him. Like
Yeah.
I never have left to go visit Isra or anything.
In other words, Sebastian, is the last time you saw Torrent,
The last
was-
time you saw Torrance Friends was the last time Torrance saw Torrance Friends.
which was when Sandringham burnt down in episode 8?
My
Like that?
bad.
Yeah. Something like that.
Anyway, it was about 64 episodes ago, otherwise known as about a year ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a year ago almost.
Okay.
In game time, maybe. I miss
Then
them,
I,
so-
then I retract that question.
Is there anything specific you would like to roleplay with Torrent's parents, or should we just acknowledge that you spent an
No, we
evening
can.
there?
Yeah, we
had a great
we all
meal.
had hugs and kisses and had a great meal, and they oohed and awed everybody with their entertaining.
And it was wonderful. I'm assuming that your main purpose.
We had
Yeah.
tea at the end of the night.
Oh, of
Were
course.
sent off to bed.
And there are many guest rooms, color coordinated, but not sort of your typical red, yellow, green, blue, orange. No, these are gold, silver, bronze, copper, brass, and then also white, black.
Hmm.
Could I have the silver one, please? Thanks. It matches my magic.
Torin, they have got a bedroom specific
Oh.
kept for. And you will note that on the wall are some older artifacts of parents have been collecting of gladiators. Past. They've moved here a bit on your grandfather's fame, and as such have been collecting artifacts from his time, weapons of opponents he defeated, that sort of thing. None of them are particularly useful or particularly fancy. They're not even as fancy as all the +1 weapons you stuck him in the Goldenbrand mansion, but they've done their best to decorate it accordingly.
Mhm.
Gia
appreciate
and Yorkrath sort of, obviously being a friend of your father's, sort of really is very at peace here, but Gia is very uncomfortable. It feels a bit like a Meet the Parents, even though it's
I was-
Meet the best friend.
I was gonna say Torn would likely have given them a good ribbing in front of his parents.
100%, and Gia
This
does
old
not
dog's dating
understand
this
that at
little
all.
girl.
Gia doesn't comprehend any of the banter and just thinks everyone's a bit rude. He's very confused. But she doesn't want to come with you to where the path is being. She wants to Yorkrath. Yorkrath, however, has some things he wishes to do around Moralgan. Two of them are.
Certainly. Best of luck to you.
At this point, Cal sort of awkwardly looks at you. Sort of got as far as I think I. More than. We quelled issues in Gazellan. You helped me in Alana. Here is working. What I understand, most of the problems in Yakan have pacified.
Yes.
I do not.
We understand, Cal. What are you to do now?
I am thinking I might attempt enter Muegos from the sea. Ever if I can find anything that Nation of my is up to.
You think this detection magic only works around the Isra Muegos border?
There are usually ways around boundaries, especially when they are based at the ocean. Swelling of the ocean, perhaps. Flying in at a high height. I could try at least. Be doing that is a greater benefit.
I will defer to Hennig.
Oh well, wherever a man thinks it can be useful, I think is important. I wonder whether I mean I think that's a perfectly good a way to try going in by the sea. I wonder. I don't know too much about our friends Ivan and his folk, the dwarves, and whether they're different places around the world are connected, perhaps underground in some way.
Yeah, you might not, but Rosania probably will know. Maybe Kiava as well. But yeah. Rosania, can I take a history check, please? Good.
I got a 10.
Yeah. You're not sure if there is any dwarven citadels in Muegos, but you do know that most dwarven citadels are connected by underground. Yeah,
You
so
know,
that-
just basically to like give that as a secondary idea to Cal, basically. I think.
We also know King Ivar of
Ooh, a Beldania.
Bar.
That's what I meant. I said Ivan, but I meant Ivan.
Yeah, he sheltered the Yuanti at Barad Numenez, and indeed some.
That's what it was, Barad
the
Numenez.
King of Eladar.
Oh, okay.
Special halls. You and sending should that be necessary? So,
Sure.
Cal will suggest that perhaps that's what he should do first. Is approach the king. He can help him get.
Yeah, sure.
He can fly pretty fast. He asks if he might be willing. That he could state your friendship as part of the passage.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know how far it'll get you. We're not too special, but we've worked with him. I think he respects us.
Hennig, your dossier. Extensive.
Right.
For the most part, it says that he is a goodly man. He has had 2 wives, one of whom died 5 years ago, and one of whom he's been with. He has 4 children, all males. What is known, they're all very well respected within the dwarven families. and what in fact one is resides as the king of Barat Numenes. Their line died out. Ivar doesn't have any secrets that the dossier really keeps track of, but it is known that his people have a little less respect for him in that he is called rather mockingly elf friend. He likes people that aren't dwarves, and the dwarves think that's really. But he's the king, so he doesn't really give a shit. Pretty much all you know about him from the dossier. It's a huge, extensive file of all his wonderful deeds and many things he's done, all the different people he's connected to. But basically, none of it could be used as leverage.
Sure.
That being said, it does pretty much document that he's a really good-hearted man that's likely to try and help.
Sure. Yeah, give Cal some of the, a few little bits there, perhaps for flattery as needed, but let him know that I can send a message ahead, and also that using our name might be somewhat useful.
Yeah.
And that he should be well received as long as he can get through to the king, who likes Elfkind.
With that, he will sort of rather enthusiastically set off as an eagle, like that. Phoebe will ask if you mind if the boat remains in Walgan until you've done whatever it is you do it with. Just because she thinks the shopping opportunity.
Oh.
She's not really into looking for things. Well, maybe they'll interest Hennick. There's some really unusual spices that she can get hold of here. There's some lovely, very dark wood, a little like ebony, purchased here. And also items made of ebony can be purchased. And it is one of the only places in the world where marble is. So, some pretty cool luxury goods. But she will leave you guys to set off across the countryside of Israel. You have directions from Theseus. You have a location on the map. But apparently, where the Path 15 is not difficult to find. It is a huge, vaunted entrance to a large castle. Yeah.
I don't think we have any other business, do we?
I don't think so.
It'll take you the best part of the day to get there. You find a huge, vaunted castle with a wondrous entrance. Think perhaps you might take a long night's rest there in the morning to go. Unless, of course, Rosania would rather you took a rest and went in the middle of the night.
Probably asked for a change of clothes from like his father.
Oh,
like a
yeah.
Fancy something,
What sort of fancy thing would you be looking for? I'm sure they've got plenty.
I don't know, not too indifferent from what, or not too different from what Torin had already been wearing. Just a little more embellished,
Bit of a silken suit.
Like, yeah, something like a nice, like gold embellishments.
Yeah, definitely wearing the fanciest of clothing. Does Rosania gain any benefits from entering into the night anymore, or did they disappear with the cloak?
Yeah, no, she stares at the sky now.
Okay. So yeah, after a long rest in the morning, Hennick, what sort of hearty breakfast prepares a man for Way of the Path?
Oh, well, I mean, something, I would have to pick up some of the spices and some of the breads from whatever else the baking goods from the guy. I think Hennick would have been staying the night in the green room after having talked to the Green Dragonborn for a while. Not making a big deal about it, specifically as he's now like trying to get used to the idea that he might have to one day be friendly to people like the slave owning gnome from before, but still making sort of a quiet effort to get to know that baker guy. So we've got basically, a combo of kind of like, you get like cinnamon and sweetened bread type things, but they're like some spicy stuff
like
on top of it.
French toast,
Warm
some pan
spiced
perdu.
breads. That sounds.
Yeah, let's sort of mix. Like the Mexicans will put spice in chocolate. You know what I mean? It's gonna get that kind of.
There's some really good. When we were in Grand Canal, there were some Spanish breads that were really quite spicy.
Oh, their breads are so
Lovely.
good.
Go ahead and give me a cooking check. Find out how good this bread is. Yes.
Whilst the cooking is happening,
No 9th level spells. Not got a combat setup.
well, even if I was, I would, do the, thing to cover it all. But I'm not. No, I would like, because I can use shield at will. I'm gonna have Dimitri practice his archery and have him shoot at me.
Okay.
So that I can then shield to then activate my arcane ward.
activates at full health. Don't forget this time, yeah.
Yes, yes,
Full
yes.
health.
yes.
Henrik, if I could also take an intelligence check.
Sure.
See how well you learn from these new spices. One day you will roll me a 15 or above, and you will be able to progress in your cookery. Is it
Yeah, we'll
today?
see.
It is! It is! He
Yeah.
rolled a
Take
19!
that.
That's
That's
that.
right.
It's a day for Henrik's learning. Isn't that wonderful?
It's a whole new culture's cuisine.
Yeah, and up on this, I think this roll cooking checks with them.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can't do the advantage thing for things.
Okay.
Yeah. So it works it out from items D&D Beyond, but I cannot put advantage on cooking checks on an item. Yes, you
Sure,
now
sure.
roll cooking checks at advantage. But more interestingly, 25 is 9 above 16, and therefore you will all gain. I just say 9, right? 9 max hit points.
Nice.
9 plus your maximum. Oh, Kia Vo needs a long rest. He's tired, bunny.
And what's
And,
the temp we get nowadays?
23.
27? Oh, I thought it was
Well,
27.
what mana does this temper?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a good talk about we're in a new place here and enjoy the fancy breakfast. But it seems like I don't know. It just seems like this sort of feels a little bit home regiony to Hennick. So there's kind of that spark of this is exactly the kind of place. We've been some weird places that it's hard to even feel like it's the homeland we're protecting, but even when they're called homeland. But this is a kind of land where not only does Torrance family live here now, but it feels like it's the kind of place I remember, and we need what we need to know to protect places like this. So
Now you see why my family settled in Beldania or Sandringham.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm sure they'd be interested in coming back for a visit when things are all settled down there.
I don't intend on going anywhere.
Max HP might not work.
No, so I just changed the all around
Okay.
thing. Yeah. How much temp was that? Sorry.
23.
23.
Tolerable. Do you not have a +6 to cook?
No.
Oh.
It's just that sometimes it's higher because of various items and things. But I mean, I max out at 20 like anybody
just
else.
wondered because your wings, I thought, were.
Oh, the wings are based on proficiency bonus.
Yes, right. My proficiency bonus is a
So
plus
Ah.
7.
actually, Hennick's is +7.
Now,
and ours
right?
is
Okay,
+6.
cool. Yeah. Sorry, I thought it was from charisma, and I thought that's how you had been doing more
My
than everybody
glorious
else.
Right.
defense, my glorious defense thing is charisma.
Charisma, but you haven't got 22 either.
No.
But, cool. Yeah, marvelous. All right. Hearty breakfast, big speech, everything getting ready. You can keep these bonuses even if we go across a long rest, as long as you guys don't expend anything in the meantime. Just because doing that every time we go anywhere is going to be quite. But this is where the path 50. As you look, there is a vast doorway. And this vast doorway states in the front in beautiful draconic writing, the path that never ends. 15th installation. Let not pride or greed sway you from your. As you place your hands upon these beautiful ivory wrought doors and enter in, you will see vast treasure on either side of a narrow stone cobbled. In amongst the treasure, you see corpses, skeletons, dead bodies.
So I guess we just go down the corridor without picking anything up. I
Head on
think
down the
it's
corridor.
that's
Don't touch it.
simple. Yeah, it looks that way.
As you get to a certain point along the journey, you will see a gap of about 10 feet between the platform you are on and the next platform. Down below is a drop. Drop is sort of 30 or 40 feet down, and covered in spikes at the bottom.
I'll use my hither staff
You place
to open up a portal.
music notch. Yes, you put your hither to the staff one point at where you are, and as you point it out towards the other side, it just going. Distance. Never stopping, and then comes back, and you still haven't placed the other part of your hither to of one at your feet, but you cannot place the other one at the. It seems that the other side is far further than you had.
Further than 1,500 feet.
No, it's not even that. You just can't see it to point at it.
What about... Can I...
You might need a piece of information. As you sort of wonder why this hasn't happened, you look over the edge and you see a sort of set of iron rungs in the wall, leading down to the bottom.
Iron what?
Iron rungs,
Rungs, like a
bits of a ladder.
Oh.
Like you can climb. It's a long climb down. It's a long climb up the other side.
Ugh. Okay. So I'm
Let's
assuming
not
that...
pride dissuade you from your journey.
Okay, so that's one
Oh,
charge of the hither to
No,
the staff.
no, you never got to put the other one down.
Oh, is that how the
so-
charges work? I
yeah,
have
so
to
you would
connect
have had to
them.
connect them, so you could just take that first one
Cool.
back.
Okay, cool.
It never worked. It's just endlessly distantly traveled. The idea being, of course, that if you were slightly lower level and had attempted to leap this mere 10-foot gap
You
in
would
your
have
pride,
died.
you would have fallen. Perhaps not died, but you would have fallen.
Okay.
Let's climb down and climb.
Then I guess I'll start climbing down the ladder.
All happy to climb down?
Yep.
All happy to climb up the other side?
Yes.
Climb up the other side. Get to the top. You see there is this sort of thick iron bolted gate blocking your way. Written in very small letters down the bottom right. It is written in halfling. Hennick notes this. Closer, let's leave it for the doorway. Back there.
What in the Alice in Wonderland is going on here?
It says back there. You can assume that this is some helpful adventurer scrolling on it. It is not actually part of the way of the path, the little halfling writing.
It's just scratched in.
I mean, it really is. It is literally scratched into the middle door.
Right.
Who would like to climb all the way back down to go find that Lilo?
Farn will go.
All right.
Got it?
I
Sorry.
certainly don't mind.
Climbs all the way down. And you find the lever to turn, and as you turn it 3 times, the doorway opens. Friends can call out, and you can climb all the way back up. I'll take a Constitution save with advantage. I don't think you can possibly fail this, as the DC is 8.
Oh, sure.
It is against
You
exhaustion,
never
if
know.
that matters.
You never know. It's true.
Roll double net ones. 16 is a lot more than an 8.
Yeah.
Yes, you are not exhausted by climbing mere ladder rungs. Torin is a master of athleticism.
Sure is.
And yeah, as you proceed through the path, you see a boat. And a large, sort of wide, watery expanse. And a pedestal sitting at the center of an island. About 300 feet away.
I suppose we're meant to board the boat.
Are there some oars or whatever in the boat?
There are 2 oars in the...
Is the boat big enough for all of this?
It's a sort of, you'd expect to get
rowboat?
about 6 people in it. A rowing
Oh.
boat, 6-person long canoe, if you would. There's only 1 set of oars. Jumping in. Sebastian,
Sure.
you? Okay. Sebastian, as you very confidently set foot in the boat, 5 ghosts manifest on the boat. Sit down on the seats. Take us for a ride.
Who do you think I am?
A true test of Sebastian's
I-
character.
How far is it to the pedestal?
About 300 feet.
Bear with me. Yeah. I am going to taking Magic Adept is so shitty late game.
Yes. I will not argue that point.
Well, there goes
It
that
is-
idea.
It is shit. Trying to
I was
distance
gonna-
spell.
No, I was gonna twin spell telekinesis to row the boat.
Okay, I see what you mean. You wanted to telekinesis the oars.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I can't do that. So wait, how many people can fit in this boat?
6 people. You are one. The other 5 are taken by ghosts. 5 seats
Ugh.
are taken by ghosts. They're waiting for you to take them to the
Man
island.
alive. Nope. I
Okay,
get off
you
the
just
boat.
get out. Okay.
Yep.
Now you get out, back on the shore. All of you witness this. What next? Anybody else want to vote?
Can we try to get on the boat and sit down at the same time?
Want all 6 of you to just jump on the boat. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's any use. I suspect we've got to bring these folk along, but we have this other boat. We have a folding boat from way back. I mean, if we just
Rosanna
all want
folded
to go
boat.
out there, yeah. I mean, if we just want
Swan
to get out
boat.
there together.
I could just send the ghosts away.
Well,
No.
Well, I think
if we
they're
need
part of
them?
the challenge, though.
But I
nice.
mean, if we've got the folding boat, let's just get to business, no?
But I think they're part of the trial.
Hmm.
we've already had to go back once just to get a lever. Now we might have to come all the way back for some ghosts. I mean, seems like we might as well just bring them along on the first trip. I mean, I'm not sure I can barely reach across the 2 oars, but I'll give her a try if no one else is willing.
Torin
I'll-
will obviously
Sorry, what was that?
volunteer.
You'll volunteer?
Oh yeah,
Right.
if Torin wants to,
Okay,
yeah.
Torin,
I
you
was
step
gonna
in the
get
boat?
Dimitri too.
You step in the boat and immediately 5 ghosts manifest and sit in the seat. Can you take us for a ride? We're going to the island.
Certainly.
Wonderful. Thank you ever so much. As you ride across.
Wait, because I feel like Rosa thinks there's a trick, so I'm gonna turn into a dumb beetle and I'm gonna fly into Torin's like chest plate.
The boat begins to sink.
Oh my god, I'll come out.
It's a fat dung beetle.
It is not
I'll turn in-
identifying you by your weight. It is identifying you by your existence.
I'll turn into a fish and swim across.
What
I mean,
lurks
I don't
beneath,
know.
though?
Like, do we have any indication that this water might be dangerous, or
Nope,
does it just look
not
like
at all. It looks
water?
placid, peaceful lake.
I'll spawn like 6 sheep on top of the water. I'll conjure woodland beings.
6 sheep.
Do they just
apart from
sink?
drowning? Yes, they drown. They are sheep. They can't swim.
I'm just trying. I'm testing it.
Yeah, they sink. Torin, you begin to row.
Yes.
Yeah, then I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay, you can go as a fish in the water if you want.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Doesn't
She'll just in the coast.
Okay, Torin, you get to the other side, and as soon as you arrive, they jump off, and 4 of our friends are back there. They point to the shore. Would you mind grabbing them?
Do you happen to know how many friends you have back there?
4,
Is that all?
just 4, yes.
All right. I'll row back over. Yeah.
It's,
The 4 ghosts arrive, and you have a spare seat. Who would you like to take?
yeah.
I will take Rosa.
Okay. Rosa, you
And then there's going to be 3 more ghosts.
Maybe. You get to the other side, and Rosa, you are able to step off with the other ghosts. And as soon as you do, the ghosts sort of wave at you. No, don't do it. You'll need all of us, or you can come on the island. You don't want to go back to the beginning, surely. Wait in the boat. And then one of the ghosts says, old Paulie and his children are on the other side. They would be of vital assistance if you would go and get them.
I see.
And Rosa, you can choose to get off the boat onto the island now, or remain seated as the ghosts advise.
Rosa will look at Torin and say, I think I understand what this way of the path is testing, and that will be our patience.
Indeed.
She will
It is
stay seated
exactly
on the
that.
boat.
Yeah, please don't
Okay,
give me.
you roll back. Old Paulie and his 2 children very slowly make their way along the shore to the boat.
Can I
Couldn't
bet
take
on
us to the
myself?
other side, could you?
Of course. I would
There is
totally-
one spare seat. Would you like Chiavo,
be a
Henrik,
pleasure.
or Sebastian?
Um.
I know who's least patient and who I'd leave till last.
Yeah, I'll take Sebastian.
Oh, brave. Okay, you roll
Well, I mean,
Sebastian
like,
to the other
I
side.
don't want to leave. I don't want to leave Sebastian with Chiavo because he's just gonna bully
Kill him.
Chiavo. If yeah.
Yeah. You get to the other side, and old Paulie and his 2 children very slowly step off. Old Paulie says, you probably don't want to arrive on the island without the Vela twins. Without them, you might
Oh. I
find
see.
the passage quite dangerous.
Oh, of course.
How likely is this might?
Oh, I couldn't say. I'm the old Paulie. I don't know much.
I'll already start.
Just like, get off! Don't let Sebastian get off. I would love for Sebastian to get off and be teleported to the beginning of the dungeon. Wonderful. But yes, you go back. You collect Chiavo, I would guess, and the Vela twins, sort of back across again. And the Vela twins are light and say, "There's only one more person left with your friend. I believe he's talking to him now." Henrik, as you, as everybody looks back at you, a very, very old man, human, you would think, approaches you. His beard reaches most patient.
Oh, probably because I'm the least helpful rowing, I would imagine. But no, I don't mind waiting around a bit. Wait here or wait in the boat. This way I get to chat with you.
We cross together. Yeah. Thank you for your patience. He hands you a single copper coin. It does not appear to be magical in any way.
But it becomes real.
It is real. It is absolutely solid and real. With that, as Torin gets to the side, you first. Gestures.
If you insist,
Later.
hop on.
And with that, he very gently gets into the boat and pushes off the side. And the boat sort of whizzes to the other side. Don't you bet? I think I might just see him. Travels.
Hope not soon.
Oh, again.
I see.
And when you alight, all of the ghosts side, and they place their hands down on the island, and you will note that a certain magic is still allowing you to step on without getting teleported to the beginning. Dead ends? Did I? Oh. Right, cool. Yeah, you are able to find a pedestal at the center. On the pedestal perches a little tiny golden, wooden golden dragon. A wooden dragon painted in gold. That says, "Pride can humble the greatest of spirits. Only in humility." The spell available is Draconic Transformation. And there is an exalted dragon-touched focus. This, I really did think prep this. I can only ping the whole thing. But you can add the exalted version. This gives you advantage on initiative roll. When a creature within 30 feet of you makes a saving throw, you can use your reaction to give a creature advantage on that saving. You gain Fizzband's Platinum Shield and Legend Lore as spells that you can use once a day to cast. When you cast a spell of first level or higher whilst holding this focus, once per day, you can treat this spell as if it was used casting a 9th level spell slot. Is an attunement. You may all have a look. But you are victorious. And as you stand at the pedestal, the old man comes over to you. Saints will come. The bridge will take you home. And there is a very plain wooden bridge from the back of the island into the back of the castle. Stopping for off on out.
We gone.
Okay. As you head over this wooden bridge, the walk seems to go on a long time. Eventually, when you emerge, you look back behind you and you can see the castle in the distance, and next to you is a small, humble, sort of wooden house, I guess, a bit like a big shack. And inside are 2 plain beds, little cookpot over an unused cooking fire. Little humble abode. I will remind you of where you are in the world. Day's walk from boat in Yizra. As you look to the north, sorry for the phone. Far in the distance, you see a deep, black, shadowy dragon eyeing through the sky, met by a silver in flight. A draconic battle is going on, perhaps 60 miles to the north. You can assume that is part of what Jir and your craft are getting involved in.
Jeez.
Jir.
Can we observe for a little bit?
Yeah, you can watch the battle from afar, and you will see other dark dragons being battered back by real dragons. You can assume that over the course of the hour or two, you will spy 3 or 4 separate. What is this? What's this room service that I'm witnessing? Where's your humility, Torin?
Thorin is humble.
Rico's happy. That's where we're at. Yes, over the course of 3 or 4 hours, you spy 5 different dragons, real dragons. You cannot know which shadow dragons are. You do see sparks of bright light in the sky, indicating magic is also. No one side seems to be winning or losing. You knew that battle was. We teleportation circling back to the boat?
I don't know if there's anything else to explore around here. It looks like they've got this at least that, rather I should say, off in the distance there. Well, better in hand for themselves at least than some of the areas we've been seeing. So.
That being said, Torin, you do know that the city of Vanaros sits on the northern coast. From Gia's descriptions, everybody's evacuated.
Have they went to
mostly to Lazaron?
Lazaron or
mostly to Lazaron. Some over the border to Naxon. Back to the boat, and where from there? Give 15 a bit of an under. Repeated it.
Huzzah. Well,
did anybody immediately want to lay claim to said dragon?
It's attunement?
It is attunement. I don't know how much it would help you, Torin, suppose you could cast one spell at a 9th level, but I don't.
Yeah.
That wouldn't do anything to smite.
I don't really have any. Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, it's all about spell. Well, not necessarily actually. Advantage on initiative.
I already have advantage on initiative
Is Ben's
from my sentinel shield.
I would imagine Rosary is the most.
I'll be right back.
Ironically, I would probably get rid of the Cloak of Protection because of how good this is.
Cool. Yeah, you can hold on to the Cloak of Protection and reattune to it when you get your 5th attunement.
Yeah, that would be nice. I just think, like, if she was to get it, the metallic thing is too good to pass on. Because, you know, I'm always trying to, like, wheel.
Yeah, exactly. This is a reaction to give somebody advantage on a saving throw, which is pretty. Obviously, it would be great for Hennick, except for the fact that Hennick's reaction is he's already got 20 different things to do with it. Josh?
I was just going to say, if we have some downtime, I wanted to try something.
Yeah, you've got some time.
Yeah. So,
sorry, just to clarify,
all,
would you do this before returning to the boat, or is this something you will do on the boat during the journey?
On the journey.
Okay.
I think.
In that case, would you guys like to continue up the river to Way of the Path 18, eventually entering Muegos? Or would you like to leave Muegos till later because you know it's a very dangerous land and go and do the other ones? You'll have to enter Muegos eventually.
Agreed. But do we want to do this right now?
Well, in terms of Way of the Past, we've still got 20 to do, and 17.
And Halion, yeah. And
24.
You've got 17, 18, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, and then finally 27. You want to just do them in order?
Sure.
Roughly. You do have the ability to teleport around, right? You can teleport to Halion to Ilva
Yeah.
for example. If you want to just pop off to there, you could send the boat potentially to Shah, or just to the coast, so that they can help you get to 24 when you get there.
Well, if we went to Shah, we could also do 23.
What I'm thinking is if you take the boat to 23, you can teleport to Galir, get to Shah, meet the boat. You can even meet the boat in Galir. It can take you to 23 and subsequently to 24 because you've got no way of teleporting to 24.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we will send the boat on its long journey to Galir, which isn't actually as long as it looks. It will go to the Urax state and then down and then across. That'll take about 9 to 12 days. In the meantime, you can disappear and immediately reappear in Ilva Cornis. But before you do, you'd probably spend a couple of days on the boat just with these ideas, etc., etc. What were you doing, Simon?
Yeah, so one thing I want to do one day,
which
is first of all, as preparation, cast Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum to do all the protection things,
Put it on the boat,
so that we don't get blasted in the face by some druids. And then I want to cast the Wish spell to cast Scrying.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can switch
because
between...
using Kiavo's crystal ball that casts Scrying and lets you cast suggestion.
I don't like asking for help, especially with
Kiavo.
lesser wizards.
It involves Kiavo,
you know?
Exactly. Yes, you cast Scrying. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you can... I don't think you can switch between... I think you have to choose between seeing or hearing, don't you?
I believe you can switch between them while scrying.
Oh, yeah, you can see and hear through the sensors if you was there.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So I want to scry on the crazy assassin guy who was no crazy no more.
Got the spell scrying to hand.
I don't. I've got it up on a tab on D&D Beyond.
In that case, you should be able to ping it. It should say display spell card in VTT.
Yeah.
Stop right.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay.
Because the last we heard, his madness was cured, but if I remember correctly, he was like captured or something. And they cured his madness so that he could remember and like be tortured by the thought of all the bad things he was doing. but we didn't then know the fate of him. And since Sebastian is known to have a bit of a soft spot for this troubled figure, I'm curious.
You get an image of what appears to be a laboratory. It's a complex. There are lots and lots of different acids and oils in here. Incredibly busy, if you. There's all sorts of things going on in here. This is bubbling, that's boiling, that's going on. You see no sign whatsoever of the whistler. You just see this laboratory bubbling and whistling and wheezing, and then you see a jar pick itself up and pour itself. And you hear a whispering. All the time, always watching, always checking in. No one trusts. Going as we go. Watching us. Don't think I can't see you out there. And he sort of stares directly up at your eyes. He is invisible. You would be able to garner this as Sebastian, that he is invisible because he is wearing an amulet of non-detection. But you are scrying the area he is in, so you are seeing him constantly and you're hearing him, but you're seeing the invisible movements. And he doesn't seem to think it's you. He seems to think it's someone else. Always watching, always needing us, always wanting us. And then they forget about us for months and months, and then they want us again.
Okay.
Always. And with that, he sort of he sort of looks up at you, and he goes dead silent for a moment. And, but not the same. Not as usual. Everybody else wants to. Well, what are we up to?
Okay, so I am going to then cast Sending.
Okay.
Sending
is not a concentration.
It sure ain't. And he should be, because I've cast Sending on him before, so he should hopefully recognize my voice.
Didn't recognize you last time. He thought you were a weird voice speaking in the middle of the night.
Sure, but he might not be. Even though he's rambling, he still might not be.
Okay, carry on.
Still might be cured. And I will say, because we don't know his real name, does it? Do we? So
he doesn't know his real name. You know that.
I know, unless he remembers. No, because he was like an orphan or something, wasn't he? So he still doesn't actually know. No. So I will just say, Whistler, this is Sebastian. Where are you? Are you safe?
What's a Sebastian? Sebastian wants to know where it is. Get out of the head! Out of the head! And you can hear the sound of him hitting the side of his head as if to try and get rid of you. Where am I? It wants to find us. Scheming secrets. It'd like to come. Like to find us.
What in the Smeagol is going on?
He's a bit Smeagol, isn't he? I don't know about that.
He sure is.
Yeah.
Nasty hobbitses. Okay, then I will send Sending again, because I've got nothing but time and spell slots to waste. And I will say, I saved you. Well, I didn't save you. I freed you. No, I didn't free you from the cage. I stopped my friends from killing you in that cage a long time ago. Yeah, do you remember we first tracked him down? And the party wanted to kill him.
He was locked.
Okay. Yes.
So it wasn't a cage, but it was a prison, basically, right? So it was a long, long tower upwards, and he was outside with no roof.
Yeah.
And then it was a brick wall around him. Yeah.
Sure. Oh, now I've lost how many words.
You haven't started yet.
Yes, I did.
You said I said that.
Yeah, because I'm trying to explain to him who I am.
Okay.
To remind him.
Have the words "white furry cat" come to mind at any point?
Yes, I'm the white furry cat that stopped my friends from killing you that one time.
How about the white furry cat that does magic?
I also do magic. What are you doing?
Gonna give you everything.
Yes,
He-
give me everything.
He takes the necklace off, and you see him holding a necklace, and now you see him in Hall, the Whistler.
Okay.
just remember-
Is he still painted up?
He is very much still in his Justice armor. And he takes his amulet and he throws it against the wall. He shouts out, Matthias! The necklace isn't working again! There's a cat in my head. A cat! That says it's magical. Says it freed me, but I've never been free, you know that! Get it out of my head, Matthias!
Who's Matthias? We don't recognize that name, do we?
Joshua.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Oh, is it the brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not just say the incesty brother? It's just so much easier
Because
to
he's not
remember
going to
that
call
way.
out incesty brother, I need a hand! He's going to call out Matthias.
Well,
'cause
I didn't
that's
know.
his
I didn't
name.
know he was on a first name basis. He could have said Mr. Lagon.
As you observe, after a short while, the Legon twin Matthias comes into the room. Looks around.
because he's gonna
briefly,
know that's me.
Looks around briefly, and then, oh, it's okay. They won't watch you anymore. Looks directly at you in the eye and casts spell magic. Shutting down your stride.
How rude.
You will know that he is still in service.
And he's back to being cray cray.
He's always been great.
No, there was that brief moment. The last time we envisioned him, his madness was stripped, and he was like freaking out because they were like, "We're gonna make you
The
remember."
guilt was going at him. Yeah. He is. Yes. Okay. So in that sense, yes, he never stopped being crazy. He just stopped. He remembered all the things he did.
Okay.
Like that. But you may give me a insight check.
I'd love to. I'm gonna use a lucky die.
Oh,
Just one though, because we've learned that it's just one per check or whatever. I can't keep abusing it. Okay, that's a bit better. That's the 15.
He's definitely in an alchemy lab, definitely in a laboratory. But some of those items weren't just standard laboratory items; they were highly magical.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can give you.
Okay, that's fine. I could have guessed that considering it's the Legon twins that have still got him.
Mhm.
How sad. Okay, well that screws the plan I was gonna do the next day, because the next day I was gonna, if he was like alone, you know, crying to himself in some cave somewhere, I was like gonna ask Mister to free his mind, so to speak. But that's probably not the best thing to do whilst he's still
Probably not.
captured.
In which case, I will say.
I will just feel sad and stop what I'm doing.
In which case, I will say welcome, Alien. Been to Halien before? You've been to. Yes. You will find here open markets. Very relaxed. The first time you've been anywhere recently doesn't seem under trial and tribulation. You know? Not everything's not wrong. It's just there is the ever-going chatter of the market. Far to the oases. There's a little walk into the. Would stop in the city for. You need from the local market?
Nothing I can think of. We can have a walkthrough for old time's sake, but
Yeah, you can get
Unless
yourself some
something, like, speaks
lovely
out to
street
us.
food.
Mhm.
Parlay with a few random vendors selling odd objects. And at one point, a woman wearing a large cow rushes up to you. Sorry, puts her hand on your arm. Must catch the dreams before they catch you. It takes you a moment to realize she's speaking to you in Draconic. And she hands you what is effectively a dream catcher. It's a dangling thing with a couple of bones and some strange little It's coming. A couple of bits of glass. Glass is quite expensive this one. And she presses it into your hand and catch the dreams before they catch you. Look. As she turns, you see she's wearing a blindfold.
Mm.
She ran at you very competently. Exactly where she was going. Definitely wearing a thick blind. Her race is indeterminate, humanoid, not Leonin.
Not Dragonborn, obviously.
No, not any sort of bestial race. A human, an elf, a Kalashtar. You're not sure. She's heavily cowled and blindfolded, but she's definitely human.
I mean, I'll try to follow her for a bit, but if I'm not gonna like.
Yeah, you follow her as she weaves through the. And he wanders to a large, tall tent, purple, golden stars upon it, resembling the exact tent that Dagra used. Crossroads. He enters into her tent. Man wearing heavy plate mail armor in this hot desert sun. Puts his spear before the door and looks at you for a moment and then pulls his spear back and go on in, you're expected.
All right. Am I in the presence of everyone?
I think everybody else would have followed you. Yes?
Yeah, I
Has
hope
anyone
so.
not followed you?
Yeah, unless he darted off unexpectedly and we couldn't catch him, I would follow
She
him.
wasn't running fast.
Yeah.
Current after you enter though, the spear will lower again, blocking anybody else from. Sitting in a simple wooden chair at the center of the tent. It's a very comfortable, familial tent. There's a cooking fire over, a cooking pot over in the corner that looks like it's taken out of the tent to be used. There's a little chest with stuff in it. Tiny bookshelf shows you that this is probably a permanent residence.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging rail holds some cloaks and coats. And on one wall of the tent, very high up, are what appear to be hand-drawn images in various different colours, almost like they're drawn with chalk, and they are pinned to the inside of the tent. Almost madly, crazily. Do you know when you see those people, like those crazy detectives with all the pins?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little like that without the pins. There's a slapdash all over the place. And as you look up, Torin, many of them resemble dragons.
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 Okay.
Golden bread. You needn't have.
Do I?
You have all you need. No, you do not know me. But I know you. Dreamed you many days.
I'm flattered, but why?
My dreams. Cannot catch them. Will catch them. The Golden Warrior. Dragon comes. Then becomes dragon. Will engulf the world and his feet will tread the path. Die. Save the world. Breath is flame, yet ice to the.
I'll sort of stare at her very like sternly and say, I have seen this dream.
Perhaps a different way in which you crush the world attempt. Errand. Be apart. Hold safe to it. The dreams catch you. Catch them first.
I look down at the
You
green
have-
creature still in my hand.
As she that's in motion to move or in any way she thinks you're going to speak. Yes, careful, you have but one question. Second would break. Question.
Oh, I'm fucking muted. Sorry. I said I'll think. Torn will think on it, but ultimately he won't ask her a question.
Tell you this. Sword before the shield turn. No, no, that is exactly the opposite of what James meant to say. The shield before the sword
Kill,
turn.
kill them all.
The shield before the sword turn. The shield before the sword. Look.
I will bow, and I will take my leave.
You leave. All of you will see the tent lying torn, crumpled to nothing. Ground. Piece of fabric on it. The man in plate mail armor turns and very casually scoops up the cloth, folds it to a very small parcel, places it. Pouch. Bag that he has.
Well, that was dramatic.
I can't even begin to understand.
Torrin, what did you do?
Or more specifically, why didn't you visit Ilvacornis the last time you were in Halium? You guys left from a boat. You could have had this prophecy 20 years ago.
True.
But yes, there is no sign of her, and if you ask anyone else, they have no recollection of a purple tent
yeah,
or
they'll
golden
have never seen her
nothing at
before
all.
or anything. Yeah.
It's non-existent. Never did exist. It's a short walk across the desert. We're happy to proceed.
Well, I have questions for Torrin.
Great. Go ahead. Ask along the way. But I mean, like, you're happy to talk on the journey. There's nothing
Yeah,
else to do.
sure.
Place, or
Well,
did you
is
have
this? I
May I
know
ask-
that
may I
some of the
summon Cameron?
crystal stuff was on the opposite side
Saran.
of Helium, but so you can't buy that stuff here.
Which crystal stuff? The crystals that you were able to
Well-
make magical things out of.
Yeah, like the blood crystals.
Yeah, like the various colored ones.
They are very expensive, but you can buy them at the markets here.
Hmm.
I'm gonna check on baby.
Yeah, I can remember how extremely out of reach they would be, and I'm not going to waste money on something too stupid. But
The dark red crystals are 150 gold pieces. The rest are all 100.
oh, well, that's not so bad.
Which is vastly expensive in Beldania, but not for you.
Right. Yeah.
There is one person that has these. He is a very jealous-looking man with an extremely polished, shiny head that is shaven. He is dark of skin. You believe him to be a half-elf. He's a little unnatural. Perhaps with some... He has deep blue eyes, and he sort of rolls his hand over the crystals without looking. Almost sensing which one. You have noted that no one stops by.
Interesting. Well, I kind of want to stop by it, but I mean, we should talk to everybody first, I suppose. Folks, I've been managing the funds and so forth, and we've got quite a bit, and I'm sure there's some mighty objects out there that might help us. But I thought of a few potentially, like, I don't know, not super important things. They have these crystals here, I think, remember from before, that just let you keep things up for a while and that sort of stuff. Just as much talking around as we've been doing, I thought of perhaps even just making it so I could try to understand other languages longer, that kind of thing. But if anybody has a more important purpose for any of these, I don't know.
Just a reminder.
Just thought of it while we're here.
Just a reminder of these. The yellow ones can create spell storing, can store a spell in them that you can utilize as and when you wish. They are attunement. The purple crystals can be put into wands, given a certain number of charges of spells and recharge dawn. And those ones are attunement if they are 4th level or above, non-attunement if they are 3rd level or below. The light blue ones you can put a spell in, and then a following day you can throw it and it will release the spell. Those are non-attunement. The light green ones are duration non-concentration spells. You can keep casting it on the stone and the duration will increase indefinitely. The dark red crystals allow you to put your concentration into it. It does take an action to put your concentration into that crystal, but once you do so, you can then concentrate on a second spell. That spell that you put in there will remain for its duration. Concentration cannot be broken.
Right. Yeah. Like double concentration is like hyper crazy, like powerful thing to have, but actually with the stuff that I have, it's not. And
not only that, but you would have to take 2 rounds to get that
right. You like I would never
going.
even barely get around to using the other thing, and then the first spell would barely be useful.
No, unless you've got something like Holy Weapon that lasts an hour that you could do before a combat and store in it, and they're not massively powerful to you anymore. They were one. But the green one, I think, Tongues is non-concentration, right?
Correct.
So you could cast Tongues on the green stone, and it would eventually get lost.
Right. That was the very minor use I was thinking of potentially grabbing one for. But if anyone else has any real concerns or interests there, before we go talk to this dude.
Dark red is attunement?
Yes, of course.
Oh yeah, and what about the light green?
No attunement to that. You've seen Sebastian has one of these, or something similar to it, as does Chiavo for Mage Armor.
Sure.
Oh, I thought that was just like my natural prowess with magic.
No,
I didn't realize it was a gem.
They always require a stone touch focus. Yours has a mere sliver of green crystal in, and it's actually placed within. It was given by the Abjuration Wizard, the woman who gave you the Abjuration book back in your pre-campaign single solo session.
Wow, what a callback that was.
75 episodes ago.
Oh goodness.
So if I bought a light green, could I put a circle of crystals in there?
Circle of crystals is non-concentration, correct?
Yeah.
It says, it's
yeah.
duration.
So that sounds incredibly powerful, but do remember that when struck, a crystal is removed, and when thrown, a crystal is removed. So yes, you could put it in there, and it would at first last just the same hour that it normally lasts, and then it would increase in duration. But obviously, when the crystals are removed, the crystals are removed.
Yeah. So I still get a free spell. So I win, right?
Why is it a free spell?
So like I can store the circle of crystals there before the fight, right?
So it'll only last its duration the first time you cast. It only lasts an hour. If you then cast it again the next day, it would last an hour and a half, 2 hours. So you'd have to cast it before the fight like you would yourself, right? It doesn't last in there. So let's say if you cast it on it in the morning, an hour later it's gone, right?
Wait, so the duration keep...
Yeah, so Sebastian's never had to cast Mage Armor ever again, right? Because he eventually got it to indefinite. But what I'm saying is Circle of Crystals is not a brilliant use of this because it'll just run out as the normal spell would because the crystals get depleted. And then there's no Circle of Crystals in there.
You'd be better off getting the one where you can put charges of a spell in a wand. And then you can just have 3 charges of Circle of Crystals.
But that would require attunement, Josh. Because it's above a third level.
Sure, but we got attunement slots out the wazoo.
We also got items up the wazoo.
Yeah, I know. We have...
I would say it sounds exciting, but I don't actually think it's as useful as I think. But if you're willing to part with Joe, have we got a lot of money or like some money?
We got money.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 3,400 some gold.
If you're willing to give him 500 gold, he will give you 3 of each crystal. And with that, you can just
3 of each crystal.
At that, you can just do with them as you wish. Can I suggest that perhaps that might happen in between sessions? You can scan and none of them are going to save you from this particular way. The paths are going to die no matter what. No.
Did you say 500?
Yeah. So you get 3 of each crystal, and then you can spend the entire week bothering me with, can I use this? Can I use that? Can I do this with it? Can I do that with it?
Can we steal?
Sure, you can try and steal, but what do you need more?
I mean, I'm definitely not gonna go to Hennig for this because it will just be a hard no. Why
do you need more than 3?
I don't know.
Hennig just walks back and has a handful of these crystals. Like, I thought this would be a pretty good use of our funds.
Not only that, but you remember Phoebe has some as well. So if you really, really need them, Phoebe on the boat has
It's
some
just
as
that
well.
these are so powerful and they're just out here in the market. Like, he's basically asking us to take them.
They're not as powerful as you might think. And besides, he did seem to have some genie blood. You don't know what the repercussions would be.
I'll get teleported and fight dinosaurs. It's okay.
I think they might just...
I don't think there's that many folk come along who have the powers that can make much use of these
Exactly.
crystals. So he was probably happy to sell to first customers who could use them in quite a while.
Pretty much, you sort of get the impression that he seems so surprised that you're even there that like he might not have sold something for the last month. But he makes
Quite
really
frankly,
big money when he does sell them, so live off it.
Quite frankly, I think we got these for a steal as it is, Rosania. Let's just
Rosanna
out
would
for
have
the
never
oyster.
made her
No,
intentions to
but-
steal. Like,
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
said, definitely, yeah.
Can I suggest that
But-
maybe we might go back there? What do you need to say?
I have a final question. It's just like 2 seconds. If Sebastian were to cast Mage Armor on this crystal, would I
It's
then
only
be
his
able?
Mage Armor, because Mage Armor is...
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
First of all,
So yes, yes, it could be used with somebody else, but it lower your armor class. Go ahead.
yes. So, has it been a day since I last cast Wish? In that traveling time.
Yes.
Great. I have another question. Contact other plane. It says you can mentally contact a demigod, spirit of a long dead sage, or some other mysterious entity from another plane. Could I use that to contact Mistra?
Sorry, what?
The spell contacts other plane.
Where have you got that from?
I'll ping it.
No, where have you got it from?
Oh, I'm just looking at spells.
Oh, is Contact Other Plane an 8th level spell?
It's a 5th level spell. I pinged it.
It has a chance to drive you mad.
That won't
That would not
happen.
stop.
A spell save DC of 15 intelligence. There's no way I'm feeling that.
No, you cannot contact. It actually specifies a demigod. Therefore, not
Or
a
some
god.
other mysterious entity from another
Yes,
plane.
Not a god.
I was hoping the vagueness of that would
No, not a
boost
chance.
it up
No,
a bit.
no.
Okay,
Divine Intervention is a cleric ability. Leave it alone.
yes, I'm aware.
Guys, we're the path 17. Anyone leaving?
Yeah,
do
sure,
it.
fine.
No, seriously, I love that you're taking interest in the world. But I do think that the crystals are something that there is so many uses that could be done throughout the whole week. It's worth scanning out.
No, agreed. I just knew we were in the place where they
No,
were
no,
sort of
100%. Buying them is no problem at all. But yeah. Ask to anybody who recognizes this picture.
That's from Ocarina of Time. It's the Water Temple.
Oh.
I have nightmares about that place.
Well, this is a dungeon. We're not going to. I would let you know that in this dungeon are many, many water-related puzzles. This dungeon is inside the Great Oases, and you would find that in many situations, you would need to fill up the exact right amount of water in certain vases. Basically, you would have been traipsing around getting attacked by various water elementals and other water-based creatures while trying to fill up vases with water and pull the right levers. Eventually, this would lead to a mighty version of a beholder, who sits atop. Wow, what a sentence! Who sits atop a pedestal that you would know to be the Way of the Path pedestal. This beholder was once a mighty, mighty enemy, but for a bunch of level 8. I'll play it. I'm pretty sure you can one round him. In fact, I'm pretty sure Torrin can one round him. So we will leave him as is. But as whoever's typing, we can hear every key press. As you eventually make your way past this beholder and take him down with a single smit of the sword, you are able to, on the pedestal, home. Sort of iron-bound and mystical gold writing across it deposit as a manual of bodily health. Sat upon this manual is a single silver and diamond teardrop. Written upon the pedestal says, "Even the mightiest of stones will eventually." Spell available is Suffocation. This will come up as TDP Suffocation. Diablo. But the Manual of Bodily Health, I believe, gives you a permanent +2 Constitution allowing your constitution to go up to 20. It will get the drop. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any idea who might read?
Sorry, what does the manual do again?
It raises
It
your
just adds
constitution
it.
by 2, allowing the
The
cap to go
manual
up to
is a
22.
1988 book by the Time Lords.
My Siri just got very excited.
It's a
at the
book by the
thought,
Time Lords!
The fuck? Oh, okay, yeah, never mind.
Constitution to 22, basically. The Ancient Teardrop has 2 charges. It disappears when both charges are spent. When you take an instance of more than 100 damage, this will cause you to drop to 0 hit points, or when you'll be affected by a spell or effect that will kill you instantly, so our word kill, or cause you to drop to 0 hit points, the damage or effect is mitigated such that you drop only to 1 hit point instead. Charge. It is not attunement. Whoever puts it in their inventory, they just not in.
That's like my gold, my crystal flower.
No, your
with
crystal
2
flower
charges.
actually is to do with being dead, not being 0 hit point.
Oh, true. What? Really?
Mm.
Oh, okay.
So this is over 100 hit points or an instant damage effect, causing you to drop to 0 hit points. I would point out that I don't mind who you put this on, but it is totally pointless on Sebastian, as if he would die to something hitting him for 35 hit points. So 100 damage is just never going. It would, yeah.
I also have a save.
Yeah,
Like,
he has a way of saving.
Same with my
Chiavo has the Order of the Scribe's ability to negate a certain damage by getting rid of spells. So I would say that it is not worthwhile on him either. And it is unlikely that the Torrent ever takes damage. It first has the saves of an mastermind. So I would suggest that one of you do. Henrik or Rosalia.
Who wants to read the book?
Oh. Wants to read a book. Anyone?
I mean,
Chiavo's like,
probably
"Book!"
has the lowest constitution. I don't know that
Well-
Chiavo can get the benefits of it because he's wearing that amulet of health.
He cannot gain any benefits.
That's what puts him at 19, right?
Yes,
Okay.
do bear in mind that the effect of raising it to 22 is more effective than the 2 gain. You get an
And
ASI at
Rose's-
the next level to get to 20.
Rose is maxed.
Rose is already
Right, so
maxed.
she's the only one who can get.
Well,
the
technically
full
Torrent
truth
can at
benefit.
19 as well, right?
I can at the next level I can raise to 20, but
I see.
I mean,
Who knows
if
when
Rosa
that will
wants it-
happen?
If
You
Rosa,
need-
I mean, Rosa
need
takes
22
quite a bit of
constitution.
punishment sometimes.
Yeah, she's targeted a lot because they see her heal and they're like, oh, let's fuck her up first. But I think I found a way for Rosa to just infinitely regenerate health. I'm gonna use one of those light green stones and pop it with regenerate in it.
What?
If I can. So Rosa will be permanently regenerating hit points.
Not right now. If you remember, it took
Eventually, yeah.
Bastian.
Yes, of
Mage
course.
Armor started at 8 hours, and it took him a month and a half to get it to constant.
Yeah, but I need to start somewhere, and that start will be today!
What level spell is regenerate?
It's 7.
Currently haven't.
Is that a high enough level to attract attention?
Yeah.
I wasn't
It's
before.
only 9. It's only 9.
Okay, good.
Don't say that.
I like to live life on edge.
Yeah, well, if nobody wants to read it, Torn will read it. But like shit. I read
Okay,
the
so
last
just a
one.
reminder that the 4d8 plus 15 would be irrelevant here. It would just be the 1 hit point at the start of their turns.
Why?
Because it's the 4d8 is a one-time thing.
It's every time I cast it, right?
Yes, but if you're making it permanent, it would only be 1 cast.
Yeah. But I kind of like that she'll basically become Deadpool.
100%. Okay, so the only thing is that every time you do that, obviously you will have no 7th level spell available.
Yeah, but that's okay because with the other thing, I can now cast.
Not every day is a day that we need to blast people with 7th
She
level
will be
spells.
doing it every day until it becomes
Okay.
permanent.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Not every
Right,
day do you
but
need a
those
7th level
on-
spell, yeah.
yeah, on those mundane days, you just blow it on regenerate.
So the plan will be as follows. On days that we're adventuring, she's gonna save it until we fight, so she can use it wisely. But on days
Use
that
it
we're
at the end
just
of the
pissing
night.
around and yeah, use it at the end of the night every
Perfect.
day.
Perfect.
Yeah, she's not silly. Come
Alternatively,
on,
you can use it
Torren.
just before combat, and then you will have it for the duration of
Oh,
the
that's
combat,
also
right?
true. But
Yeah,
you
but
should
I
Like
think
you would if you were casting it on
use
yourself
instead of
anyway.
because of the hit point regain, I want to be very circumstantial when I use it.
You won't gain any hit points if you cast it on the stone.
I won't regain.
No,
Okay,
because the
then.
stone doesn't regain any hit points. So it would just be that +1 hit point. Be on whoever it is.
So when they cast mage armor, does that mean that the stone gets the mage armor?
Yes, effectively, the mage armor extenuates from the stone around them. If they were to lose the stone, they would lose the mage armor.
So then why don't the hit points sort of extenuate around me?
They do, the +1 effect, but you're casting the... I don't know if the 4... I mean, the 48, I suppose. I don't really see the point of it targeting you, but sure, why not?
It's not
Yeah.
more in the sense of targeting me because I might want to use this to like heal someone else, you know. Because that's why I'm saying I want to keep it circumstantial. Because like if Henrik's about to die and I have a 7th level spell that I can heal him with, I'll
Of course.
go in and pop this on him instead of me.
Okay. I'm going to once again reiterate the previous sentence that we will talk about this out of session.
No
That's where I'm at.
problem.
Yeah, cool.
No problem.
Are you reading the book? Gaining +2 con, or is Torren?
If nobody else is keen on it, I will happily take con.
Puts you to
I mean,
22.
I'll be getting to 20 next level, and I already have so much damage mitigating stuff that, like, you know.
I will happily take it.
Obviously, it also helps with Constitution saving throws for
Yes,
concentration.
that's what I was looking at.
Specifically for concentration,
So
right? So
if you put it in
Yes.
your inventory and just like, you know, like
click it.
click it, it'll
does the
put
thing.
+2 onto your
Yep.
thing for you. Yeah.
So that is a manual of bodily health.
Rose is becoming a little superhero this session.
There is one place you can't teleport. 18. You can teleport back to Mwalgan and take a small boat down the river should you wish, but you will be entering Muegos if you... Totally up to you. You can enter. You do know that
We did
detect thing
19.
was specifically for
Wild
Wild Elves. Also,
I
the
mean,
Leonin
should
are
we-
absolutely amazed when you all just emerge from the oasis. Side note.
We've got the 20, the 24, and the 23 around here.
So you can teleport to Eriswavia, which is
Yeah.
not far to 20.
Yeah.
You can teleport to Harbondon, which is not far from 26.
Yeah.
21 you would have to walk
20.
to or get a boat.
Yeah.
The same with 18 and 25.
And then we could
24
teleport
and
to
23.
the boat to get to 23.
That is the idea, yes. So
then
the question
sail
is,
to
do you want to
24.
teleport to Moralgan and take a boat up and down the river to do 18? Or do you want to just go and do 20?
Well, if that area is like the Badlands, why don't we just leave that? Why don't we sweep the rest of the map as much as we can and then go there?
Any disagreements?
That's a long enough silence that I'm gonna say yes. Let's.
I
do
don't
that.
disagree. I don't disagree. I don't think we need to do 18 like right now, considering it's in Muegos, which just seems to be.
You do know that the
potentially-
majority of the trouble in Muegos has been happening in the north part. And I will say that, Torin, you are aware of the Iron Hills in Muegos being a dwarven citadel.
True.
So 18 is... I will say that 18 is going to be a lot safer than 25. That's where I'm at.
Sure.
No, 20. Yeah, for sure.
23 is going to be a whole thing.
Yes, well, you teleport to the boat, go to 23, go to 24, right?
Yeah, it's just if it gets us involved with the twins and Whistler nonsense, if they happen to be down there, then we're going to be in for a whole lot more than just going to away the path.
It is
Well,
totally
I
your
mean,
choice if you
my-
visit the Academy of Shah. 23 is
my
at the other end of the
thinking-
island.
My
Okay, I
thinking
couldn't
is
tell if
that
it was like the whole place was the.
I mean, I'm just saying. I feel like we're so far east. We might as well get 20 out of the way.
Okay, but to get to 20, you are going to teleport to Eriswavia,
Yeah.
which you can do from anywhere in the world.
Oh.
Right,
true,
that's what I'm
actually,
saying, so-
yeah, that's fair.
20, and... the other one-
24 though.
That you will need a boat for. Probably that boat.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should go to the boat and to 23, and then we'll know it'll be easy for us to teleport back to 23 if we at any moment we decide we need to go deal with the Shar situation. Teleport there and walk across the island.
Can I suggest
Well-
that whatever happens, you do 20 before the others? You can do 18 before 20, but I would suggest you do 20 before going on to 21, 22.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're scaling up in difficulty, and 20 you can teleport to, so it's like... And then you can teleport to the boat, right? So you could...
Okay.
I would not suggest skipping 20.
Well, then why don't we do that? But why don't we tell the people on the boat to sail to 24? That way we can go, once
Okay.
we're done at 20, go 24, then go to 23, then to 21, 26.
If I'm desperately honest, the boat is probably here right now.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It is on
has
its
barely
way.
been.
You have told them to go to Galir, where it will then take you to 23 and subsequently to 24. Or if you
Okay.
prefer, 23 and subsequently 21 and then 25, going along the other direction. But you
I
will
mean, I
need the
suppose
boat
we could-
to get to all 4 of these.
we
You
could
won't
ask them
need the
to go
boat to get to 18 or
Ellesmere
20. Yeah, they can do that instead.
Galir. And that way it's a little
Right.
bit more like between everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
you can send in Phoebe whenever to get over there.
Yeah.
but
By the way,
can I
James,
yeah.
we've
Change of
got
plans.
we've got 2 3s. One here, one here.
And you've done them both.
Yeah, we sure
no, no,
did.
no.
Did you come out
Yes.
there?
That's
Yes,
where we
that is
came out.
correct.
That's where we came out.
Oh, okay.
It's the one. It's the one with the portals that goes at 2 ends. You can actually enter it from either end. I do remember that now.
That's what she said.
Wow.
Is it?
Or you said.
And that's why he married her. If you teleport into the land of the elves into Arizwavia,
Sure.
you are at first a little sort of, and then everybody realizes who you are, and you can leave. They will tell you that if you wish to attempt entering Anywhere the Path 20, that it is a strange portal inside. In fact, it is believed it is another land entirely.
Land before time, perhaps?
No, a land of the Fae. Is more...
Oh, man.
Oh, I see.
Just out of curiosity, are there dinosaurs in this world?
No.
Has there ever been dinosaurs in this
Not
world?
as far as you know.
Ah.
I imagine Rose is somewhat familiar with the Fey realm.
She walks in like, "Hi, Tiffany."
It is a very strange entrance. Before you is a sort of, like as if it's 2 tree branches that meet in the middle, woven with interwaving large vines and roots to make a single arch. Center of the arch is a purple. Step in. Strangest. You click on the click on the click, and 20 right.
I think you guys never saw Rosa do this in any way of the path, but she's sort of like skipping a step.
As you enter, there is a satyr sitting on a little branch, stump if you like, playing a pan flute, like a wooden flute out of this. And as he takes note of you,
Do you have any albums for sale?
puts it down and just. Is that a thing in the US and Canada as well? Okay, cool. I just thought that was a London thing. That was always a pan fluter with some albums for sale. He looks up at him. Oh dear, oh dear. Good. You don't belong. Yeah.
Well, we're looking for. This is the way of the path 20, right?
Yes, it is on the path. All part of the Feywild, parcelled out for the purpose of testing mortals. Long ago, bargain struck. He was a grand
bar-
man.
A bargain for what?
A piece of the Feywild, portioned out for testing mortals. You see it behind you, don't you? The tree.
Oh, is it this literal path?
Yeah, literally. You are right here.
Oh, then. Thanks.
Lose your way.
What happens if you lose your way?
Never return.
Does he allow an evil maniacal laugh?
It says it very factually, very matter of the fact, not too bothered.
Okay.
Before you go onwards, might I have your name?
No.
There's a lot of power in a name, as we've come to learn.
These mortals, they know our tricks.
We won't be
On
as
you go.
foolish as you to get into a bargain.
We're not the fun kind of mortals.
As you
Orin was
look
about to be like,
down the-
my.
Yeah, legit.
Shut up.
Silence.
Cover your mouth.
As you move further on, you see at the very bottom of this giant tree, it's about 400 feet, is a little wooden door. Seems to be the entrance.
We're in the Feywilds, though. Someone might be living here. I'll knock.
Yeah, you need to knock.
Okay, you knock, and the door knocks back. An echo of your knock. Right.
Is there a door handle to
There
open
is.
the door? Or just...
There is.
Okay. Then I'll just mage hand the door open.
The door opens, and as you peer inside, there are moving lights inside a vast. Move gently.
What else is in this room?
From where you're standing, because of how dark the room is with the weird dancing lights moving about, you can't make out much else until you enter.
All right, I enter.
Okay. Everybody else following?
Yeah, this should be friendlier.
There is a long table across the back wall, on which sits all manner of. On the wall, there's a long piece of parchment, musical notation, all the way across the top. The last person enters, the door closes behind you. As you turn back, there is a very tall purple creature in a long dress with strange twisted horns and white. He looks at each one of you very slowly, as if trying to discern what manner of creature you.
Tieflings aren't a thing in this world, are they?
Not in Beldania.
Yeah, so we've
Never seen a tiefling.
certainly never
And
seen
she
someone
doesn't
like
look
this.
like a tiefling. She has
Oh,
she has
okay.
these strange horns, but she's sort of an archfey, basically.
Okay.
Bright green eyes, and she stares at each one of you, trying to discern what manner of creature you are. Her eyes rest on Henrik. Why you?
I've been asking myself that quite a bit.
She sort of jabs her finger out at Chiavo. Knowledge. Then at Sebastian. Power. And Torrent. Strength. Then looks at Rosania and.
I don't know either.
You have a purpose. You. Points back at Henrik. Not so much. Why you?
Someone had to.
She lets out an uproarious laughter. Well, I like you. I do. Oh, good. I hate it when I don't like them. Very well, what are you going to play me? Help yourself. She gestures towards the instruments and all of you.
It would be so ironic if I did.
I want to know if anyone is, apart from Henrik, I want to know if anyone is proficient in an instrument.
I am.
What are you proficient?
I would like to conjure woodland beings to summon a satyr.
Okay, but what are you proficient in?
In summoning a satyr.
Okay, we'll skip. You're not proficient in an
I'll-
instrument yourself, as the character.
Yeah, maybe I could give advantage to Henrik, like make a little
Sure.
band for him.
But under your tools, does anybody have an instrument other than Henrik?
Oh,
Well,
pan flute. Yes.
Flute!
Yeah, I mean, it's because of
It
this.
is the
obviously.
Feywild.
Couldn't
Yeah.
write it.
She took it because of this.
Henrik, you're proficient in multiple instruments, I assume.
Yes.
Josh, you were going to say?
I was wondering if, with my proficiency with brewer's tools, could I possibly do that thing where you have like a bunch of like jars and you're like, ooh, 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 and just breathe You just blow.
It will cost you a
within
cast
2.
of creation or fabricate if you have one of those prepared.
I can
Yeah.
prepare one of those. If need be.
No, too full.
Two bullies his neck's half the bottle. Yes, you are able to get yourself a series of glass bottles, and you sort of play very bass. You've got the bass line going. Rosania, you summon a satyr and hand them your pan flute, I assume?
No,
play along with them.
I'll summon 4 of them, and the 5 of us will be like Hennick's backing band.
Okay. Hell.
Our main act is taking a break, just hydrating. Sorry,
Ryan,
everyone.
can you contribute anything useful to this?
I can I can dance around, maybe do some like backflips and cartwheels.
I'm just singing voice.
Well,
Not,
I
not
could probably
Rico's,
sing a little bit.
Soren's. Give me a performance
yeah.
check.
These guys don't happen to be dragons.
No, no, they do not. In any way. Happen to be dragons. Because...
Dirty 20.
Lovely, I like that. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Kiava will press a digitation to create faint musical notes in rotation with the others. And as Torin begins singing, what would Torin sing about? Sort of song my Torin now.
Maybe he'll make up a little ditty about his grandfather, just like the history of his life and the great battles he fought and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And he like sort of raps it out like nice, well enough to get a dirty 20.
Specifically,
Inspired by Joe.
Rosania and Sebastian, you may choose to give your own performance checks or give advantage to Hennick. One of you must make a performance check. The other one can give advantage to Hennick.
okay, what's Rosa's performance like?
She's more of a observer and like supporter. She kind of like claps along like woo.
Negligible, I think, is the answer.
Okay,
You want to give Hennick,
so
Hennick advantage?
I've got a +3 to performance.
That's 3 more than I do.
Okay, so
Okay.
you give advantage
So
to
I'll
Hennick.
take
I'll
Hennick
roll
with advantage, a performance check, please, and Sebastian a standard roll. But before we
me
get,
and my jars.
before we get Hennick's roll, I will ask Joe, what would Hennick play?
Well, presuming it would not be among the, it would look around, but probably have to ask, like, do you mind if I use something of my own, or
Oh,
does it have to
please,
be
help
one of
yourself,
these?
as you wish.
So he does carry his little
And the
mouth
Jew
harp with him, and it would be
yeah.
that, I would assume. Particularly with the jugs. I mean, if you're
Oh yeah.
huffing on jugs over there, then obviously that's the appropriate music to go with it.
As you finish, you sort of... Most impressive, wonderful. Ah, good. Enough to save your lives, not quite, but it was wonderful. Thank you. I do appreciate you. Oh, such a travesty. I don't want to have to... It would be unfortunate. Ah, well. If one of you did have to die, who would you choose?
I would step forward.
Oh, a volunteer.
I have ways of undoing this.
Fragrance bottles now.
Wait, are you gonna
Oh,
take his soul? If you kill
Another
him?
version of you waiting somewhere else, is that it? Ah, but what if you could not find the connection? Or a little ring carried upon your hand, ready to take your soul in place? Oh,
You're a very
You thought
astute fellow.
you thought Mistra walked with you. But not here. No, only the fake can walk here. Ah. I'll trade you. You can keep your pathetic little life.
Rude.
If you tell me a tale worth telling.
Oh, I will begin telling a tale.
Oh, not
of
you, please. Your
myself.
storytelling is
Ah.
disastrous.
You haven't even let me try.
I don't want to. No, pick your storyteller to tell a story. I know you have many. Little town burned down, didn't it? Bet that was quite a tale.
I will choose Kiavo to tell a story.
He reads a lot of
I
books, to be
wish
fair.
Jamal was here. I would force that to happen.
Oh man.
But I would
Yeah.
assume that
Be like a
somewhere
filibuster.
some farm fresh verse would spill.
Yes, I'm
I
sure Hank
assume.
will
I've
be the
just been too busy to write
go-to.
any lately.
No. I mean, we could tell an old one. You know, he wants an old tale. You could. I'm not
Sure.
asking you to do so, but you could perhaps tell me. You know, the flames stand tall in Sandra. At the
Yeah.
end of it, she sort of. Oh well, yes, I suppose. Okay. There's only one more thing you have to do. We're so tired of giving out services here. Perhaps you might stand in, lend a little help, a helping hand, so I might speak. You don't need both your hands, all of you, do you?
I look to Kiavo.
I'll command one of the satyrs to step forward.
Not him. He's just magic. And she waves her hand and just dispels him.
Well, why do we need to give our hands to make up for
Oh.
the work
Because
we
the
made?
helping hand is lovely. Can't you just
Oh,
summon it
I'm-
back
I
anyway,
know.
Rosalia? Isn't that your thing?
Why don't you summon a
grow
hand
it?
then?
Oh, but... And with that, she sort of waves her hand and 1,000 crawling claws fall from the ceiling and each pick up a musical instrument and play. But it's the meaning of it all. I didn't have to sacrifice anything for that. I'm meant to be testing you, challenging you. That's what they told me. Go ahead,
Eh?
Sebastian. Spit it out. Come on, we're waiting.
Well, if you shut the fuck, I'm just kidding. I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
Onwards, come
No,
on.
but if Billy had followed us in, and trouble with Billy's hand, he only needs one to scratch people, and he can barely do that anyways.
Oh, that would be
Give
quite
you all,
fun,
Billy,
wouldn't
if
it?
you want.
Oh, very well. And with that, she waves her finger and severs the hand. And the hand will crawl up and sit on Billy's shoulder and wiggle about a bit. Ah, a hand sacrificed, a tale told, song is sung. Anything else I'm missing? Oh, it's been so long since anyone else came here, and the last one I had to kill. Was something. Ah, yes, gold that glitters. Gold that glitters. Sort of reaches out and whoop, and a scale comes off of your skin. She puts it in her hand and sort of, oh, a little blood left on it. Licks it off. And you'll take 1 point of. Put around it. Ah, yes, gold that glitters. Wonderful. Oh, up you go then. Go on, up the stairs.
Excuse me,
What?
but you just took a present from my friend Torin, and I believe it is in Fey ruling that now that he has gifted something upon you, you must gift something upon him.
Yes,
in
that's what I'm
return.
doing. That's the passage up the stairs. That's what I'm giving you. Come on, off you go. Trot, trot. Plenty of pleasant things upstairs. You'll find them. You will. Or you'll die. I
I'll
don't
have
mind.
a word with Titania.
How before we go upstairs, how do you know so much about us?
What's my job? Okfei,
Oh, it's the
you're in my
ruling
realm.
of. Oh,
You know, I get to know things. Lovely little things. Things I really didn't care about. Like your little fantasies at 17 years old. Not interested. They're still here, all in here. Believe me, it's a traumatic job. Now, come on.
what?
Not
Whose
upstairs.
fantasies?
Yeah, let's
Yours,
go.
his, hers, all of them.
Okay.
Before Torrent takes his
Have you
leave,
any idea how many years an elf lives? All up here now. Thousands of elves' lives. Ugh. Exhausting. What is it, Torin? Go on, spit it out.
Yeah, Torrent will sort of just like look at her and be like, "That wasn't very polite."
I wasn't here to
Okay.
be polite. I was here to do a job. I've done my job. You do yours. Come on, trot, trot up the stairs.
Go, let's
What was your name, by
let's
the way?
go.
I didn't give it to you. Nor shall I. Onwards.
Yeah, let's go.
And she points at this sort of long, elongated wooden staircase. You can surmise as you wander up the stairs that you are walking up the inside of the tree. And as you get to the top, there is a little tiny pixie sat on the floor with her arms crossed, looking at the floor, looking very sad. As you come in, she sort of. Really? I hate this.
What's wrong, Pixie?
We have to do battle, and it always hurts.
Is that the way to progress?
And to try and make you think you're going to die, and then continue.
Well, Why don't we just pretend?
I like make-believe. Can we do make-believe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You pretend this doesn't hurt. And with that, she will cast Horrid Wilting on you all and ask for a con save, please.
Counter spell. At 5th level.
Okay, give me an intelligence check.
With my proficiency
Your proficiency
bonus, right? Okay. That's a 23.
At 23. And she sees you do this. I thought you were pretending! You're not nice.
Well, I thought you were pretending. You had
No.
to actually cast spells.
Oh. I meant to.
Well, you said pretend.
Yeah, but you pretend that... Oh, that... Pretend that it's not all pain. I don't like
Well,
pain.
why don't we pretend that I didn't stop it? Ouch. That really hurt.
Oh, go on then. Don't tell them upstairs.
I promise we won't say a word.
Give me a persuasion check.
I'd love to. Do they like cats? Oh no, that's something else, isn't it?
Hold on.
That's a 16.
Yeah, okay. 16. Oh, you are cute. Can I stroke you before you go?
Yeah.
She sort of leans over and she's tiny, like literally 3 inches tall.
Yeah.
So she just sort of gives you a little stroke on the foot. Oh, very nice. You're not so cute, she says as she looks up at Torin. Up the stairs, go on. Don't tell them you promised.
Yes, we will not tell them.
No, you promised.
As you go upstairs, one more floor. There is a large room with a wooden, sort of like wooden plank flooring. At the center of the room is a single bird. It's about 3 or 4 inches tall. It's a sort of chaffinch. It looks up at you and it just chirps at you twice.
Anyone speak bird?
Well, not just yet.
Well, yes, but
Not just yet. Great answer.
But I can from the staff speak with animals.
Oh, wrong. Okay. Are you going to speak with animals, are you?
Give it a
pass me the
try.
animals. You look at the bird. Bird looks at you. When you speak in bird, it says in common, "Please don't do that. Sounds awful. Your accent's appalling." Common
Fair
will do.
enough.
What do you want?
I guess we're moving through here. So
Oh, how are you?
seemed like you might have something to say about that.
No. Carry on. You look around. There are no stairs. Go way further.
Oh, right.
As you can see.
Where,
you fly?
where might we need to go? Oh, some of us.
Those that won't are going to fall. And with that, the floor just tips to the side and throws you out the side of the tree. Bye! Little bird flaps up.
Excellent.
Who can fly automatically and who needs to do something else to stop themselves from falling?
I can cast fly.
Okay.
I don't know how high a level I would need to.
I just want to know if you'll manage to
Catch
finish casting it
everyone.
before you hit the floor.
Well, if it might take a while, then I can cast Misty Step at will, so I could just
Or where?
constantly teleport to the ground.
I cannot fly.
Okay. So Torin cannot fly. Henrik
Does
cannot fly.
Kiavo have?
Kiavo is flying already.
Look at the boots.
No,
Wing boots.
I was gonna ask if he had feather fall prepared.
Kiavo does not have feather. Also doesn't have fly.
Well, yeah. I mean, then the only option is for me to try and cast fly on all of us in time.
Okay, I like that. Or potentially could become a dragon.
Oh yeah, let's burn a 9th level spell slot. Bring the druids here.
Oh, they're not going to come into here. You know that. They don't. You can
No,
cast
they'll
ninth
be
level-
waiting
No, but
outside.
you do know you can cast 9th level spells inside where the path. I will tell you. But anyway, bonus action, Rosania can fly, correct? So you just need to cast
She
it on
can,
you,
yeah.
Hennick, and Torin before you all hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. Sleight of hand check.
To me.
Yeah, yeah. Go casting.
Stealth. No, sleight of hand. You said.
Sleight of hand, yes. So you're not trying to hide from casting it.
Aren't
cast it
I?
quickly. No. You're trying to rush through the somatic components. I think Fly has a somatic component. Or it does.
It has
Verbal
verbal.
somatic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got everything. That's a 13.
13! Woo! Just!
Oh, I'm lucky.
Okay.
Before you say
Lucky you.
anything. Oh, that's better. That's 21.
Yeah. You rush through it all, and as Hennick and Torin are about to hit the ground, they sprout beautiful wings. Three of you glide back upwards. You're able to fly up
Yes.
to the level above. When you enter the level above, there is a pedestal.
To be specific, Hennick's wings are made out of vines, and Torin's wings are draconic,
Mm-hmm.
and my wings are angelic.
Beautiful. Cavo's boots are flying. Rosania just hovers there looking. And as you move up to the floor above, you will see a beautiful pedestal wreathed in flowers.
I feel like we should have just flown up here from the beginning.
Who knew?
Probably would have been open or something.
And, oh, no, let's not give you 18, because you're not at 18, you're at 20. And at the top, sitting in the corner, the same satyr you met at the front of the path, playing his flute. And the words on the pedestal say, sometimes where words might fail you, music speaks. On here is a rhythm maker's drum, +3 by the way, an olam harp, and the spell
Oh.
Weird.
Ho, 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 ho.
And you can admire those on a short break. Be right back. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Beldania. Friendly here. Thank you very much for popping in. Lovely to see you. The session is going well. Good night. I'm sure you've already gone to sleep. I know it's super late for you. But for the rest of you, if you are here from Friendly Here's Raid, we are very welcoming of you. I'm sorry that we never get to catch your stream, but for our Americans, it's about 4 a.m. when you start. However, our party have just completed the Way of the Path. What was it? 20. And as such, are deciding where to go next. Bruno, I think, or possibly Sebastian, there is a line on the map. Would kindly draw an arrow to somewhere. Appreciate it greatly. Perfect, you have fixed it, thank you. Only one line will suffice. Yes, so the options would be going to Moalgan and taking the boat up to 18. Going to Eladar and asking if they've got underground passage to 18. Going to Harvonden and crossing the border to 26. Or going to the boat and waiting till it gets to its...
I think it makes sense to hit up 24 and then go round to 23 and then go round Yuccan and then eventually go up.
Okay, but you will have missed out 26 and 18 doing that.
Where's no, because like when we go to 21, we can then go inland to 26.
Okay, yeah, so it's just 18.
And then the
you'd be
same
missing.
way, and then the same when we go up there before we hit 25, we can go inwards.
You do
to
know
hit
that
18.
the Northlands of Moegos are very, very difficult to cross. You would be much better off approaching 18 from civilization than from the where it's all gone wrong up in north of Moegos.
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is, do you want to teleport and do 18 before you go and do 23 and 20?
I'm cool with that.
Okay. If you think that would work.
The DM knows that.
I mean,
you can
like
have-
whether or not but do we want to? If we're gonna do 18, do we want to? Do we want to take a boat from Uwalgan, or do we want to try to see if we can get passage through Eludar? Are we concerned that we're gonna be being watched getting into Muegos.
You don't know the state of the inner Muegos. What you can do is ask in Mualgun if they've got any trade vessels going up.
Yeah, true.
that sort of thing.
actually.
And they would inform you that they've been trading with the Iron Hills dwarves within Muegos, but Valos is no longer in existence. It was flattened about 6 months ago, completely by a mountain. So they don't trade with Valos anymore. But they can trade with the Iron Hills and with Dogran, the dwarven citadels, and they do so by meeting them on boat at the bottom of the foothills, which luckily for you, that's somewhere near the Weather Path 18. And in fact, Torin, your parents will let you know that they ship some bread up there, some sort of pitters and stuff, some flattened breads that last longer. They actually sell some up the river. If you wanted to go on one of their trade vessels, you can.
Yeah, certainly. Like whoever they use.
So the main reason why this is so successful is because they use dwarves. There is a series of dwarves who run a bunch of canal boats. They're all one family. Very, very imaginatively. Simply called the Dwarves of the Riverfolk. Their surname, so they're the Riverfolk family. And they do rivers, what they do, and they'll inform you of that very happily. And they'll tell you all about how they do rivers, and all the rivers they've gone down. They do not shut up for the entire duration of the journey, but they don't charge you either. So, swings and roundabouts. It is a 3-day journey on their boat. It is like a long, narrow boat. They have a little section at the back, which is usually for cargo, but they have left it empty for you guys. So not only have you had a bunch of dwarves that don't shut up, but you've also all been in the same bedroom for the last 3 days, which I'm sure you've all loved.
Whilst we're traveling along, would I be able to cast Ascending? Cool. I would like to. Let me get the name, which I probably won't ever get. Was it Matthias?
Matthias Lagon?
Lagon? Yeah. Can I send Ascending to him?
Yep.
Cool. Then I will say, what are you planning on doing with the Whistler, you monster?
Well, you get a... We call him the Whistler, perhaps we should call you the Meddler. What we do with him is our business.
I'll cast it again. And what is your business?
Our own. What should you wish to find? Come to Shar and I will demonstrate him.
Your parlor tricks do not scare me. And then I am going to activate my rigor mortis shielding to stop him from replying to me. Yes.
Very good. Thrilling conversation nonetheless. You arrive at the 3 days. 3 days, 2 nights.
So, could I just quickly, because I don't want to test this with regenerate, but you know the little stone we have. Could I test it with Windwalk? Let me send it, because if possible, then I would use the 3 days of the journey to cast Windwalk on the stone.
Need to see the spell.
Yeah. I would just I'll prepare it at the beginning of day 1. So just give me a second. Let's take Healing Word out. Why not?
Yeah.
Thank you, James, because
So
this is going to take me a while.
The problem with Windwalk is that it is only going to be applicable to yourself.
That's fine. That's completely
Yeah.
fine. That's what I wanted.
But yes, you put it on spell, and for 8 hours, you can cloud and uncloud at will while holding it. On the second day, it will remain at 8, and the third day, it will remain at 8. So right now it just remains as 8. It hasn't increased at all. But need to continue doing this for a little while longer, and then it will extend. I think it took the guys 3 or 4 weeks to get from 8
Quite
to
some
12.
quite some
Yeah.
time, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
remember Sebastian was doing it like
Every
time.
day. Yep. And then
Yeah.
there are rolls for it as well. But for now, the stone is accustomed to taking the spell. And
Yeah.
you're gaining the idea that maybe in a shorter period of time, you'd be able to put one of the willing targets to be the stone and the rest to be your party. So, although you're not increasing the duration yet, you get the impression that maybe in a week or so, you might be able to cast Windwalk on the party and have the stone be charged by it, so that you can
So
keep practicing on the stone and actually get a cast of Windwalk.
do I get the impression that this stone is in any way like sentient or is like learning from my spell as I'm feeding
Yeah, a
it?
little bit. So what they have is retain the residue of magic that is. So if you were to cast magic missiles on this stone, like at the stone, it would be really impressive because you're a druid. But if one was to do it, when the little bead of magic hits, you would see like stone glows with that magic for quite a while before dissipating. They just absorb latent magic.
Yeah.
So yeah, after a
Very
little bit of
interesting.
time, you might be able to cast Windwalk on your party and the stone. But for now, just going in. It's going in. Joe, with tongues, that is a second level spell or a third level spell?
Third, I believe.
And its base duration is
An hour.
okay. So on the third day, I will need to take a spellcasting check. So we call it charisma check for you.
Whoa.
There was a
Ooh.
Jesus. There was a blacksmith in Harbon. 27 is
Magic.
I was like, apparently I have so many things they're adding to things that I didn't. It's going up to 27. I was like, that should be a 24. But
no, because you have the Stone of Mastery, I believe, which helps
yeah.
one thing. You're a bard.
Yeah.
So 27 is pretty good. We like that. Yeah, so it will last 2 hours. On the third day. Yep. And you guys come to the entrance to an underground river. The river goes right into the mountain. And actually, as you go in, you will see that here, that a long way down, there is a cascading waterfall. This river originates at the top of the mountain and falls down the inside of the mountain before flowing outward. Kind of funky. When you are in there, the dwarves say, we don't know where you want to go, but what I understand, you're instructed to let you alight here. Gestures towards a little area to the left of the inside of the mountain. And he will tell you the passage you're looking for is across the hall.
Thank you.
You are most very welcome. It's been a pleasure traveling with you. If you ever need another journey down the river folk will be at your service. All simultaneously bow at you and leave you to walk away. Across the inside of this mountain is a sort of door is a really strong word for it. It's a hole. It's about 8 foot tall, and about 4.5 foot wide. And it looks like a portal into the abyss, to be honest. But you get the impression that this is the way down.
Before we go in, may I address the party about something that's been on Rose's head? From
On
what
her
we
head? On
learned?
her head?
Yes.
About her hat?
That horrible hat.
Go ahead.
You might have all noticed that over the last few days, I've been rather amused with these light green crystals. They're very fun. Well, as I was thinking, the thought occurred to me, if these little gemstones can absorb magic, why not use them for our benefit against the wild elves? Like, perhaps create a spell shield of the sorts. Or, alternatively, implement them into the land so that they absorb the magic of the elves? And I'll exemplify what you described, James, and I'll like put one of the stones in the ground and fire a guiding bolt into it to prove the point.
I think this is what you're missing, Rose. You have to actively be putting something specific into the gem. It wouldn't just pick up on latent magic lingering in the air. right, DM?
Sebastian, you would have a very intrinsic understanding of these stuff. If you had a crystal that was big enough, like this, right, big boulder, you could
Yeah.
perhaps hold it up, and a spell would hit it, and it would soak the magic and not spill over, right? Unlike if you held up a normal rock, which might deflect it. So, in a very, very basic sense, sure, Rosania's got a point, but you're not going to catch a fireball in a crystal this size. Be impossible. They're very, very small.
But it wouldn't pick up just latent magic that's lingering around.
No, they won't absorb latent
which is what
magic.
she's saying.
But they might absorb magic cast by the wild elves if it was big enough, but it's not.
Right.
So you would have to catch a spell in this little tiny crystal, like.
Yeah.
Or we'd have to enlarge the crystal or find the bigger crystal back in
You
Wagos.
can't enlarge the crystal because if you cast
'Cause it
enlarge
will
on the
absorb the
crystal, it will
magic,
store enlarge in the crystal, which will
You
not
might
help
be
you
able
at
to-
all.
Unless you do it twice.
But you could potentially involve these in some sort of defensive item that you
Yeah,
would
that's what
create.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
And you basically eventually make yourself a spell guard shield, which is probably not worthy of anyone's attunement slot. But maybe you could give it to the humans.
No, we need
Unless-
to think bigger.
Unless you filled numerous of them with dispel magic and somehow just had it active all the time, you could have some kind of anti-magic field.
So
But
some of these stones, not the pale green ones, but some of these stones, such as the pale blue ones that store a spell that can be released on throw, or indeed the yellow ones which can store a spell which can be released on command. In the past, have been used in Veralia. Gava will put on his teaching voice. He will. No! Don't do that. And he will tell you all about how when you went to Veralia, they had those huge waterfalls that were going upwards in the sky to protect them from the magic of the wild elves that was set upon them. If you remember, they were protecting themselves using the land. Is that anyone?
yeah.
Great. Fantastic. These crystals were embedded in the ground a long, long time ago in a very, 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 very long line with loads and loads and loads and loads of these spells of basically tsunami or control water or all sorts of other water-based spells together, tidal wave, and embedded in here, and then all attuned to one single crystal. And that crystal could be activated by the king of the or queen of the elves at the time. And that is how those waterfalls have. So there is some documentation of these being used like that. The only problem, Rosania, is it took 80 years to set up that defense. You have a strange impression that it's about 6 to 9 weeks before the campaign ends.
I think she's not thinking this small. I think she's definitely not thinking along the lines of let's grab a little rock. She's thinking of let's go into the Halian desert and get like the big ass crystals where these things are coming from, or find the source. Like how are these crystals being made?
They grow
where's
in
this
the
magic
oasis,
coming from?
in the very oasis that you dived into.
Yeah, but for something to grow, it needs fuel, and so what is
Pickles.
making them?
That is an interesting idea.
I think that would be a waste of our time.
Maybe of your time, but
Rosania's
wanna
got hundreds of years.
if you want to get,
and it will so
well,
swiftly
no, I
remind
just
you.
mean like of what we're dealing with now. I think there's a waste of time.
That's fun. On the
Oh, yeah.
meantime, enter into that cavern. Dark and it's beckoning you.
Not when you say it like that.
Well, you managed 19s and 20s, so surely 18.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Work this time. Yeah, you see this sort of hole in the wall, effectively. And as you enter in, there is this long, winding path descending downwards. Can I just clarify, this is 18, yes?
Yes.
Okay. As you get to the bottom, you see surveyed out before you a series of walls and doors, low ceilings. Torin, you're going to spend half of this in a crouch, I'm afraid.
Oh man, that's okay.
But yes, as you are here, you're going to have to traverse a maze. throughout this vast maze, you are accosted by a sphinx that asks you 6 riddles. You find yourself in combat with an unusual giant rock-like scorpion. You get lost in a corner and trapped in a spider web Thorin has to break you out of by slicing you out with a sword. At one point, you have a series of little bright gems on the ground that you need to cast the corresponding school of magic spell on to open a stone path beyond. At one particular point, a really annoying dancing imp behind a wall of glass tells you to entertain him if you want to pass. Eventually, somebody gets annoyed and shatters the glass, breaks their way through. There is a moment where you are walking on the ceiling, a moment where you could swear you walked the same path 4 times, but Chiavo ensures you that he is not lost. And after a little while, you all decide that you're going somewhere else because he really is lost.
We're lost.
There is a moment where you guys begin to realize that you're going to have to record your path as you go, and Theseus tells you that he can do it. The manifestation of Theseus will draw the path of the labyrinth in. After about 14 hours, you will need to take a long rest as you are tired. Hennick will provide some lovely food, I'm sure, that you brought on in. You find yourself back at the start the following morning. Still lost, still confused. The same Sphinx asks you 6 different riddles. Thorin himself gets stuck in the webs this time, and somebody has to fireball him out. And eventually, you proceed through this nasty, dark labyrinth that I realized would have taken at least 4 sessions to run, by the way. So we just thought, no, we can't do that. There were lots of fun, strange things. Sebastian falls down a pitfall, hitches himself out, and ignores everyone. And eventually, you get to the platform at the very center. Congratulations. I'm sure it was really intense and difficult, and you so deserve a reward. And so you shall have it. Because sometimes being lost is the best way to find yourself. There is no questioning who is going to read this book. Rosanna is going to read 2 books in 1 session. We should all applaud her. As there is a tome of understanding, and no one else was going to want a +2 to wisdom.
Is this? Yeah, I was about to say, like, it's just saying there's only one thing that this can be.
There is a fucking badass cape called a Cape of the Mountebank that doesn't require attunement and allows you to dimension door. And when you do so, you disappear in a puff of smoke and reappear in a puff of smoke that lightly obscures you. Pretty funky, if I say so myself. It is an action. And the spell Maze, which I know, Josh, you already have, I'm afraid. But such is life. We're at that point in the campaign. But it was pretty spectacular. It took you 29 hours to get through this. Burn through a whole lot of spells.
You
didn't even have time to cast Windwalk on a gem. Yeah. Eventually, you make your way to the precipice. As you do so, you feel foreign. You feel an absolute urge to look up. You do so, you see the ghost of a man with his beard down to his feet, wagging his finger at you, tapping his forehead, and disappears. You recognize him to be the same guy that Hennick was chatting to at the boat, in the way of humility. Humbleness.
Right.
Very old man, beard to the floor. Waves at you, taps his head, points at you, wags his finger. You have to say, I knew I'd see you again. Well done. You're still going.
Oh, okay.
I'll
tap my nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see you. You see me. How exciting! After which, I would ask you the boat at Ilvercornis, perhaps, to then go to 24 first, and then 23. That's the plan.
Yes, but I would let people know that after my conversation with Matthias, that the Legon twins are hiding out, or possibly taking over. I don't really know much about Academy of Shaw. They're there basically. They're on that island.
Be fair.
And the Whistler's with them.
He is.
Yeah.
As you manifest yourselves onto the boat, Phoebe's still not tired of that happening. And woo! Ah, so exciting when that happens. I love it when I catch it. Where did you want to go?
to 24, please.
The
We're not on the map,
Milna
Jay. But yeah, we're not on the map.
Oh, you're not on the map?
Or I
thought
would
you
have
were
said that.
I thought
Yeah.
you were in the way of the path.
Yeah.
Alright.
Trapped in a
Yeah.
maze.
Yeah, that place. The place you just pronounced perfectly.
Milna Coleric, we haven't been. Quite dangerous trying to land there. We can give it a good go if, Hennick, maybe you might need to do that thing again. Lots of rock formations in and around. If you could smooth them out, our journey a lot easier. There's only one port in Coleric. They're not very welcoming of visitors.
What
certain.
port?
Well, Eskralish, I believe, is what they call it in their native
Well,
tongue.
we don't need to. We need to go around the other side.
No, there is only one port in Coleric. You cannot land anywhere else. Oh no. The smallest of boats. You're absolutely wrecked. You can depart your own way if you wish. I know you have means of traveling in the air.
I really want to ask Kiavo if he thinks his parents are here.
Kiavo knows his parents are in Halion.
Oh. Why didn't we go see them all? Sure, I guess so.
We haven't visited Hennick's friends or family. I'm assuming his parents are no longer with us, but you don't ever invite anyone else to see your parents. Corin's
Well,
parents gave
that's
everyone dinner.
different.
Hennick doesn't really like his parents.
Ooh.
Reveal.
my
What
own mom.
Kiavo does know is that his parents only came together for his birth. Leon and don't mate for life.
Oh damn.
Right, so he would
That
know
explains
them
a lot of
separately.
him.
Not only that, but his father was a traveller. His mother was part of the Pride. He knows his mother was from Halion, but he thinks maybe his father's roots were in Milna Coleric because he was told so in Ulsmere that magical Leonin are from Milna Coleric.
I wish Emma was here, because what if we got there and someone was like, "You look just like this old traveler I
Right.
need, Kiavo."
Right.
You know, sure, Fred. You look just like Fred, and Kiavo's like, "That's my," It
Well, that is the question. Do you want
It could have
to
been a thing.
I know this is a place that Jamal been dying to visit all campaigns, so do you want to not visit Eskralish and Milna Coleric, but instead go around the other way and fly to the way of the path? Like so.
Yeah, let's do that.
Right. That's a cast of Windwalk, and it will go on the stone as well. Fancy that?
What?
Yes. So this is now day 8, and at day 8, I will take a wisdom check and a charisma check, please. You both missed one day in the labyrinth. Maybe Hennick didn't actually, to be fair, because it's a third level spell. But certainly you wouldn't have expended a 7th level spell.
He didn't roll tremendously well, though, so maybe he did get off track.
Roll above an 18, either of you?
No.
Nor.
Okay, cool. So still a remaining thing, but now every time you cast Windwalk on the stone, you can cast it on your party.
Yay!
Oh, you will clouds into a fascinating that I don't think I have a picture of. No, I forgot about this place when I was doing. I'll get that for you at some point. But it is a little bit like you see on the map. These huge rocks out of nowhere and growing into very thin points and strange angles. It looks like sort of somebody took a big ball of clay and just scraped bits away and painted as random reds and yellows. Bye.
Just like
Ooh.
that, Rico was like, "Fuck you, fuck you," when you paint. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Okay, welcome back. Hello. Are you with us, Mr. Cole?
Hello.
Oh, you're currently DMing. Oh, not anymore. There we go. Yes. So you see all these mighty spires of rock and these narrow canyons and these deep crevices as you glide across. And eventually what looks like it might be the way of the path. You see what looks like a huge giant frozen in motion, a boulder in his hand, made of stone, standing next to a doorway. When I say doorway, I mean like a huge arch of stone, not casual front door.
Sure.
Can we just fly past and
And
through
enter,
the archway?
pass through the archway, and you see a long pathway leading up into the rock. Various points here, you see soldiers, fighters, members of the Way of the Path, unusual monsters, strange creatures, minotaurs, all turned to stone. As you enter here, I need a wisdom save.
It's a spell.
No. It's a magical
Is this a
effect.
magical effect? Okay, great.
Everyone gets +5.
You are all next to each other. You will not be able to bring the mushroom folk in here, nor your zombie, but you can bring Dimitri.
Mm-hmm.
Any other wisdom saves? Bastion. Okay, fantastic. Torin, you have failed. And you are restrained. While you are restrained, you see stone begin to grow from your feet upwards. Stepped upon this path. Felt like the air thicken around you. Very slowly, this stone begins to grow up. Body. Have anything they can do?
Am I restrained only, or am I like being cursed?
You are
or
currently
something like that?
restrained. You will be petrified in a round.
Well, can I cast freedom of movement?
Yeah, let's hear what Sebastian was doing.
Oh, sure.
I was just gonna dispel magic.
Interesting. As both of you reach out, and I'm going to ask both of you to spend that spell slot.
Okay.
Both of you reach out. You attempt to dispel the magic.
Sorry, just I don't know if it matters. I'll be spending a third level spell slot, but casting it at 4th level
I know.
because of the whole mystery thing. So I think it makes it stronger.
That is not how that works. It is when
Okay.
you upcast a spell, it is upcast by an extra level. Right?
Oh,
So
right. Yeah.
if you cast it
Okay.
at 4th level, it would be 5th.
It would be 5th.
It won't
Okay, yeah,
automatically. The reason I did it that way is so that 9th levels don't cast at 10th level.
Shush.
Okay,
Then I'll just stick at 3rd level.
Yep, cool. It makes no difference at all. As you cast your dispel magic, it sort of starts out at just Torrent's feet, and then it sort of spreads all the way along the path, all the way along the walls, all the way up, and then it just collapses in on itself. Your dispel magic will not be able to dispel this effect because it is vast and far too large. However, it has revealed to you that this effect is sporadically throughout the entire dungeon.
Okay.
Freedom of movement lasts a minute.
Just check.
Um,
An hour.
Bastion.
But I'm also thinking I might cast Aura of Purity.
Okay. Hold off on that thought.
Yeah.
Sebastian, what were you saying?
when I saw the dispel magic go off, was it just affecting the ground?
No. It ran up. It
No,
ran up
it's
the
just
walls,
all
all different pillars. Lots and lots of different parts of the fire dungeon seem affected, including.
Okay,
the
so
ceiling,
like
the walls.
having us all fly around might not
Wouldn't help in the slightest.
fix that problem.
Wouldn't
Okay,
help
okay,
in the
okay.
slightest. As you continue on down this path, it becomes incredibly difficult to keep going. It's almost like your feet are coming out of. Do you know you try and tread through really, really thick mud and it sort of sucks at your feet? Feels a little like that. I need a strength save from everyone, please. To attempt to continue to move onwards.
Magical effects. Oh no, because magical effects still.
Yes. Entire dungeon is a magical effect. Interesting, Tony. How long does that one last? Or a purity, and are both of those spells concentration?
The freedom of movement is not.
Now,
Or
that'd be a
purity
cool thing to
is.
put on a green crystal.
Hmm.
Yes. Aura of Purity. Okay. With your Aura of Purity, you may all roll with advantage.
Boom. Well, I nat 20 did, so.
So Henrik and Rosanna, you can reroll. Both succeed. Isn't that exciting? Because you have a +5 from Henrik.
Yes.
Yes.
Right,
As you move
definitely.
very slowly next to Henrik. Next to Orin. Sorry. You are confronted by a creature that will surprise any of you. Manifesting out the ground, snakes for hair. Medusa fixes each of you with a glare.
Mm.
Finds you unaffected. Medusa, specifically.
The
Yes.
actual person.
Well, you can have a Medusa as opposed to the Medusa.
Well,
A Medusa is
Okay.
a D&D enemy, not the thing from
I see.
yes, whatever it is.
Okay, yeah. I was just confused because Medusa was turned into a Gorgon.
So a Medusa is a snake-headed medium monstrosity, petrifying gaze. Guessing. Believe I can pick. Yes, look at that. Pew.
Mm.
Oh no.
Yes, she's got a spell save DC of 40.
Oh.
No one
All of
worry
that.
about her spells.
Yes. So she has little snakes to help. She looks like. Helps.
Hmm.
Oh.
Stands before you.
Ooh.
You are worthy. Surprising, but
Is
Go
it
on.
really?
in 12 centuries. One walked it. Well, one that was worthy. Very well.
We are
Also-
honored.
They tread lightly, but you won't be able to. Sort of guides you onwards. As you
See about that.
move around the corner, largest earth elemental you ever seen. Thunders. It's down and sort of he stands, but then places his hands on the ground as if making him sort of a quadrupedal. Right
Yeah.
word? Yes.
Yeah.
Quadrupedal. I don't know. One sounds
Quadruped?
like one sounds like strategic. I don't know. It's there. It looks at you and it fights you. It is a tough battle. Not that tough. It's CR17 monster. You will kill it. But as you do so, you'll note hordes of earth elementals surrounding. Do we have anything that's particularly effective against earth element? This costs
The mark in my hand, does that do anything?
Oh, interesting. At one
Because-
point, Rosania, you will feel
Yeah.
that you can perhaps garner some advantage over a minor one. You can command an earth elemental, just a single one.
Whoa! That's
Oh.
legitimately her reaction. Like, I
Yeah.
guess this
But
will
she's just
probably
like,
come
"Just
in the
stop
middle
it!"
of a heat.
And it does.
Yeah. That'd be so cool.
Yes. So I had forgotten about that. Thank you.
Let me write that down.
So
I haven't.
you have the ability to command a single earth elemental, as per the command spell, by the way, which is very specific. It's like 4 one-word commands.
I
You
can
can't tell
make
it
them
to.
a spy.
You can't. No, you exactly cannot do that.
Become a spy.
No. It's like I think you get halt.
I thought they
Yes,
were
yes,
just
yes.
examples.
Frustrate
Yeah,
yourself.
technically.
Technically, but
Yeah.
join us is not one word. Right.
If
So,
you hyphenate it, it could be.
it's command as per the command spell. I just want. So you can summon it from fighting you, but you can't suddenly turn it into an ally. Don't worry, you'll get that at the end of the dungeon.
that's
As you
fine anyway.
as you proceed on through these vast stone, this horde of earth elementals are going to attempt to literally just throw you off. These steps are about 14 foot in height, and you will find very annoyingly that there is a grounding effect in these, so no fly spells work. Teleporting. You do have to climb these, though Torin will be of great distance. Does anybody have anything cool against earth elementals that will? kill
Is
multiple
there one
ones
at the
a
very
time?
top?
I mean,
Yeah, they're at the top,
shatter
the middle,
probably
all over the place.
helpful.
Could I command the one at the very top to just like knock himself prone and roll down to knock all the other ones off?
To use him as a bowling ball. Yes,
Yeah.
frustrate yourself, and he does, and he rolls down. I'll take a dex save from Kiavo and 4 earth elementals. Why not?
Evil laugh, Rosania. Sorry.
Oh, that's good. He got a 24. He's not.
Oh, nice.
A dexterous little leonin, isn't he?
I mean, he is
Cool. Yeah, 3
Line.
earth elementals are knocked to the side, but there are hordes of them coming. Eventually, you realize you're going to have to just run for it. Make a break. As you do, you sort of charge up the rocks. Torrin sort of hoisting Hennick and hoisting Sebastian, trusting Chiavo and Rosania, who are tall enough to be able to climb their own way up. Chiavo, I think... no, is it Sebastian who has spider climbing?
I've got spider.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
climbing
Sebastian was just
slippers,
walking up.
so,
Great.
Yeah.
So that means he can help Chiavo up as well. And eventually you guys sort of clamber up these. And at the top, you see 5 giants in a circle facing you. They are undead in nature. They're unnaturally preserved, if you would. And you find yourself in a grand fight with 5 giants, which again, is not a big battle for you. We'll move past that. Finally, standing before a pedestal, a giant stone stares towards you and breathes out. Rock tree comes flying towards you all. We'll take a dexterity save, please. DC 23. Dania succeeds. Makes 32, which is pretty fucking sick.
Plus Torin, right? So-
Plus 5, yeah, of course. 37. Torrin has that. Another nat 20 for 30. Sebastian, how's it looking?
Boom.
I'm gonna use a lucky die to reroll.
Okay.
You get +5, by the way.
Yes. So
By the way, Torrin, you can roll with advantage.
yeah, that's
there will be a
that's still a fail.
foresight up.
4 sides up?
Yeah, so you don't need to this time because you're nat 20. What did you get, Josh?
Yeah.
Got a 16.
6. Rosania does now take a reaction. Your new little dragon thing.
If I can, and also just to check, I can do that after I see them fail, right?
Yes, that
Or
is
is it
exactly
not-
when you must
okay.
do it. But because he's
Okay,
about to
then
make
yeah.
a new roll, you could also wheel him if you wish.
I took woe, unfortunately.
Ah!
I mean, I didn't take it. I
Whoa,
gambled
BS
for it.
that.
Roll whoa. Yeah.
Yes, okay, so you may roll one more time.
That's a nat 1.
That one! Haven't you
Yeah.
got something that lets you reroll that, or is that Luca?
I think that was Luca.
Somebody had that one.
Yeah.
I know Hennick does.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sebastian, you failed. You'll take the full 60 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
The rest of you will
Bear
take 30. That is one thing that I will put in. And as this stone dragon sort of turns its head, reaches out with a claw, that is where we're going to end. Because you will have to fight this next week.
Mmm.
Cool.
Because fighting a stone dragon is... No thanks, says Rosalia. I'm good. Don't want to fight a stone dragon. So please record the damage you have taken. Chiavo succeeded.
Can I use my reaction to take no damage as per Shield Master?
Yes. And I think it's fair to say that you will have resistance to bludgeoning damage
Sure.
from the...
I'll put that in my sheet for now as a Twin Dragon Ring.
Yes, the twin dragon. People have been throwing bolts at you since the beginning of the dungeon. I'm not going to say that you have to have expended some slots or whatever. I do think that the max HP and the temp HP should still be in place, because I don't think we actually utilized said long rest. Obviously, those of you who cast Windwalk and Tongues, please mark those spell slots
Wait.
used.
Yep.
Everything else is fine.
No,
I'm
yeah,
waiting.
that's fine.
Yeah, you cast Windwalk
No,
to
I
get
won't.
to this dungeon.
Don't worry,
So I
don't
know
worry.
you did
Yeah,
cast
no
it.
worry.
Yeah, cool.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic, and we'll come to the timeless tradition of MVPs. And I will start where I finished, and I believe that was it, Josh.
Yeah, my MVP was the Way of the Path in the Feywilds. It was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And yeah, specifically the pixie. Very cute.
Glad you liked it. Before that, I believe it was Joe.
Yeah, they were all fun. I enjoyed zipping through some of these, and I like the bird that didn't actually need to be. He did not speak with animals.
Good, I'm glad. I always like the idea that speaking of animals is just sort of, yeah, what do they hear? You know,
Like
always
off-putting,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, Rico.
I think MVP for me this session was finally reuniting with Torrent's parents after such a long time.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously, I mean, we could play Beldania for another 3 years, right? We could
Oh,
have
yeah.
stuck 3 more years of gameplay in here. There is enough of the world to explore, enough things to do. And some things get left by the wayside, and sometimes it's nice to pick up those threads and just, hey, how are they doing? Oh, they've got a bakery? Wicked. Onwards we go.
Yes.
Yeah, so
And
I
it was
think-
very nice that it was run by that Green Dragonborn. I was wondering if it was going to be the same Green Dragonborn that we helped.
No. So you helped
But-
him in Harbondon.
Yeah.
He was in the Silver Sword
Yes.
with that horrible black dragon born.
Correct.
Kalek,
Kalek,
yes. No, he's still in Harbondon. He's just working as a mercenary. That
Nice.
is noted down. Also, do you know what else I read back on the other day? Does anybody remember Natasha freeing a thief?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like episode 2 as a bandit.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah,
note
yeah.
about him working with the Velvet Glove. And as I was doing that, as I was noting down what might be in the dossier for Hennick, I suddenly hadn't found under my Velvet Glove notes, bandit bracket
Sick.
freed by Natasha. And I was like,
Sick.
oh, that guy! Yeah, the
good,
Temple of
darling.
he got made to work at the Temple of the Thunder for 6 months, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he was! Oh my god, what a throwback!
Yeah, I was just like, what a cool
How's
little moment.
Penelope?
Anyway,
How's my homegirl?
Bruno, your MVP. Not that, something different.
I think my MVP was definitely the crystals, and I think Natasha's interest was just an extent of my own. I particularly enjoyed being able to sort of see like a new potential way of.
And these were
Fighting
introduced
while
in
we're-
episode 25, I think, by the way. That just woo! They just passed at that point.
I mean, she's been focusing on other things, and I definitely think that Rosa has always had like interests elsewhere, but like. Her interest is always like, how can I finish my fucking quest that's been help these people so I can finally be free of them,
Yep.
and that's what she's been doing. In a very loving manner. It's
Of
just she
course.
doesn't know how many times she can handle having to.
Yeah.
But it was definitely the crystals. I love the fact that there is a way for us to sort of approach the end game that isn't necessarily you just need to go in this. You need to go in with Kalangia and fight this.
Remember basket weaving? Back in session 3, right? Natasha was a weaver.
Yes.
Hennick the jewelry maker. And Rico the Torin the leather maker. Only Cookery really survived of these traits.
Yeah.
But these crystals were mostly, if you were going to use them in the end game, the idea was that you would utilize your crafting abilities to create items that were artifact level power, utilizing the crystals. And you unfortunately haven't got those abilities, those crafting abilities. Those are something that the group took less interest in, deciding to find the way of the path as their end game choice. I will tell you, it's a little late to change that path. You have really chosen it. But
I guess I
even
didn't
so,
really
there are
see
some
it.
supplementary things. Well, no, but also we didn't go as deep into the crafting as was potentially
No, I
possible.
mean, I didn't sort of see it as like, if we do this, we can't do that. I just sort of thought, oh, great, this is another tool for our arsenal.
Sure, and I'm not saying that you can't utilize the crystals. I'm saying that it's too late to level up your leather working to 10 before
Yeah,
the fight
sure,
comes on,
sure.
right? Because that's a skill that takes
Anyway,
time.
my
That's what I'm
MVP is more in the sense of like, it's good to know that the world has stuff that we can sort of tap into and
Yeah,
use
100%.
make it a bit more versatile and
Yep.
do it our own
Good,
way in a way.
good, I'm glad. I too like sort of just traveling around the world, really. There's so much of this world that obviously I want to share, and there's a scenario where perhaps potentially revisiting Beldania, in whether it's with you guys or even a totally different table, this world's not going away. But it is still nice just to be able to little facets like the river that goes into the mountain up in the northwest in Moigos that the dwarves live in, or the land of Isra and how some of it's built for dragons, and just those little snippets. I'm really enjoying getting to feed them to you guys and having that be part of it. I really enjoyed the moment where we thought about the potential of Kiavo's parents. I thought that was quite amusing. And on that note, one of my MVPs was Sebastian saying, "So when did we last see your parents?" Yes, that was just a little side note. But my MVP, I think I really enjoyed you guys' reversal of the Fey, way of the path. Obviously, a couple of them today were quite simple. and there was a little bit of enjoyment at Sebastian's humbling, or not humbling, rather, I suppose, but where you got out the boat instead of having to row 6 people, because that's what Sebastian would do. And I thought that was really amusing and really good. And in the end, of course, you got ferried across by Thorin's hard work. But yeah, I really enjoyed you guys doing the Fey dungeon, and I look forward to trying to kill you with a stone dragon next week.
Well, and I
Hey.
liked talking to the Whistler and Matthias.
Oh yeah, that thread that never goes away. What are the repercussions of having not killed the Whistler? Only you would go to the right place to find out. You will do eventually.
It's
I'm sure.
like a little off because like we don't all know about it, but I enjoy as a player seeing that there's this thing that Sebastian has hooked into that actually cares about.
Yeah,
in a
100%.
weird way.
But I really want to see when you guys find out the repercussions for having let him go in the first place. There were repercussions, you just don't know where they are. But yeah, that is where we're going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye,
Goodbye.
Bye.
we shall see you soon, hopefully with Jamal.